Are back to the downside here, giving up on early gains this morning as we continue to monitor the situation over in Ukraine with Russia. More talks scheduled for today coming up as far as the potential of a possible peace agreement or tentative ceasefire. We should learn more, but very sensitive as far as headlines are concerned. Once again, we were higher to start things off this morning, back to the downside already. Crude oil back to the downside in a big way this morning, more than 6% for crude tumbling here, along with oil stocks. We'll touch on those coming up here. We're also going to have a look at some market stocks, some of the higher beta stocks moving around here in the pre-market, of course. Ahead of the Fed, we get finally we get the interest rate hike coming up on Wednesday. Looks like it's going to be a quarter point, obviously, so we'll talk a little bit about the overall market. Arun is in the building for the next couple of days, so he'll walk you through what you need to know as far as the overall market is concerned. It's worth noting 10-year back to its highest point since 2019 this morning, back above 2.08%. We'll look at Ford coming up, expanding their deal with Volkswagen. That out this morning. Ford not really doing much here in the pre-market. And as I mentioned, oil stocks going to be key today. Big move down here for all of them. Monday, March 14th, 2022, tradertv.live starts now. There we go. Look at where we're at right now. You can see the NASDAQ already in the red. The Dow 0.6, S&P 0.3 back to the upside. But going to be one of those days that we have to continuously watch for headlines coming across the Russian-Ukraine situation. No better over the weekend, possibly even worse. Looks like their move towards Kiev continues to intensify here. The TSX futures here in Toronto 0.2 to the downside. You can see 4% now for crude oil, so off the lows ever so slightly, but still big move down for crude. Yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum not doing much to start things off. As I mentioned, yeah, our friend Arun in the building. Good morning, guys. Brand new week. Neil off for a couple of days. Always great to have Arun in the building. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Welcome back to what should be a pretty interesting week here ahead of the Fed, guys, as I said on Wednesday.
Yeah, welcome, guys. And yeah, it's nice to have Arun. Welcome to the big show, Arun, as you're very familiar with this. And thanks for filling in. Neil up apparently doing some maple syrup collecting and foraging and stuff like that. I don't know if he is or not, but that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, so that's good. You got stuck outside a little bit today with the security system there. We got a new thing with our phones, so it's no longer using our fingerprints. We got to use the phones, and you got yourself a fob now, so hopefully that works out. But yeah, look, a lot of names starting to go to the downside, and it's getting a little bit scary, to be honest with you. And I was saying to Arun actually before, why is my money not under the pillowcase or under the bed or somewhere else? Because right now your money's not safe anywhere. Apple today down 2%, much ahead of the market, with Foxconn shutting down operations. Apparently Omicron BA2 starting to go a little crazy there in China, starting to shut down major cities and everything. So that's not going to be a good sign. We have Microsoft starting to drop today. We have Tesla, Elon Musk tweeting over the weekend about issues again with supply chain and some of the metals that are going to be required to make said cars. And it's just, it's going to be nasty out here. We have agri running today. There's going to be some agriculture names that are on the move one more time. So yeah, it's just, it's going to be crazy. Cryptocurrencies, Ethereum's been 2,500, Bitcoin's below 4,000 now, down to 38.8. And yeah, I don't know where is safe right now. I can't really see anything up today. Banks are down, big cap tech is down. Some of the runners that we'll talk about are up. But other than that, man, it's been a pretty nasty morning here. And I see you're even looking at Roblox.
Yeah, I'm going through my own little list. I haven't got to Brendan's list yet because the list that I have has a lot of names that have some potential setups. So there's definitely going to be some trades to take. This market, we'll get into it when we talk about the futures, but this market is at a location where it could potentially bounce a little bit. I'm kind of looking to fade any bounce that we get if the market were to bounce. And we'll also talk about crude futures too, because when we come to that part of our show, I guess, when we talk about oil stocks and whatnot, I'll go over the crude contracts because that's what I've been doing lately. I've been somewhat dabbling in crude contracts a little bit in the last little bit since it's been active. So why not go directly to the source instead of just trying to play the stocks too? So we'll definitely get into a lot of names. I'm I've got a decent amount of orders out. I'm still trying to add some more, so there's a ton of orders waiting to get filled on a pop if I can get that. But for now, we'll get into the names that Brendan wants to talk about, and we'll go through them and figure out if we can add some more names to that list.
Yeah, oil back to session highs, or pre-market highs here, I guess, back above 104 after briefly breaking 103 to the downside this morning. So we'll talk a little bit about oil stocks along with crude futures, as Arun said, coming up. Before we go any further, let's bring in Miss Fee. Good morning.
Good morning, team. Welcome, everyone. I wish you a wonderful start of a new trading week. Please make sure you like this video, and let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, lots to talk about. Get you set here for the open coming up, guys. Under an hour. We'll start things off with one we were, I guess, looking at a little bit last week. Rivian obviously remains on watch. Very, very weak going into the weekend last week. All-time lows, in fact. They just came out and said they've got a new chief operating officer. So Rivian hires Frank Klein, apparently from Australia. So, yeah, decent move. I mean, it's still red on the day, but new COO coming through, guys, for Rivian.
That we were going to be looking at Rivian. I got to get some shorts in there. But Brendan, Affirm's going nuts right now. You can see if there's anything on AFRM. Affirm just ripped a 32.40. I was watching it, not at this move, but it just ripped up to 32.40 here, and I believe that was real. And now you're all the way back down here to 28 again. So I don't know if someone just fat fingered this trade or what, but like Affirm just up and down there, 10, 15% and right back. So I'm thinking that there's something there, but with a flash of a minute here, what's up, Brendan?
Yeah, they're updating their outlook, it looks like. So forecast increase. So raising their Q3 financials, guys. Affirm just out there at 8:30 with that. Sees Q3 GMV at least 3.7 billion. Not sure what it was at. I'll double check on that from their last report. But yeah, it looks positive here for Affirm.
Okay, not that we needed to have any reasons to trade Affirm today, as it's been a crazy one. Let me just see if I put out an offer at $30. Okay, so we don't need shorts. Yeah, so we'll watch out. Let's stay on Affirm for a minute here. But again, we'll watch to see if it opens up that 28.20 bottom. Let's get a little more news on this. Let's just see what these numbers mean. But for right now, we'll leave Affirm alone. But if you look at this, just goes to the show the rest of the day here. These PayPals, Squares, Affirms, Upstarts, I don't know. This is part of what makes me want to throw up, honestly, every single day coming into work. And it's not the coffee. The coffee today is not too bad. I tweeted out a really nice, check out this mug here. Don't tell anybody at the office because I kind of stole it from here. Hold on a second here. Check out this, my favorite mug. You seen this one around the office before, Arun?
Which one?
The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission.
I have not seen
Yeah,
this
anyways, this was, this is my new favorite mug. I tweeted that out. Some people liked that one, and they thought that, therefore, I was a narc, you know, because I grabbed that in my old life there, working for the SEC, but I've never worked for the SEC. Okay. Affirm, $180 at one point, guys, all the way down to 29 and still can't get out of its way. They have that deal with Amazon, and honestly, until this all settles out here we're going to get the interest rates, and that's going to bump up 1/4 point. But wow, Affirm just keeps on heading lower every single day, man. Like even on Friday, look at this move to the downside. This is all day Friday. Like, can you believe this? 37.50 it was on Friday. Like, how is Affirm cut down 80% already from its high, right? From 170 down to $37. And then you're like, oh, 37, it can't go too much lower than that. And then today you wake up, it's $28. This is one day. We opened at 37, we closed at 31. That's already 20% down right there in one day on Friday. Okay, and then you come in today and you're down to 28 again. Like, what is going on? I don't even want to short these names, they're so low. But we started talking about Rivian, and honestly, I forgot about paying for shorts, so I got to do that here on Rivian. Yeah, here's a short. I don't know if my trades are, okay, I don't know why it's not loading up here. I think these must be the wrong days. But you can see just playing short all in here. Like, look at what is going on with our charts here? Like, you can't short in, unrealistic prices. But anyways, we were short here on a Affirm, and or sorry, on Rivian. I think we'll stay the same way. They came out, was horrible earnings. They just kept getting beat down. This looks almost exactly the same as Affirm. 180 high for Affirm, 180 high for Rivian. Rivian down to $37 right now. You're not, if you're going to get stocks like Tesla right now getting hit down to the downside because of issues, I mean, what about a company that's actually selling cars, actually making headway, actually owns pretty much corners the whole EV market, Tesla, and they're heading down, and we expected to buy a name like Rivian? I don't think so. So we're going to be looking short here on Rivian. It actually took down 36 bucks on Friday. Well, it came pretty close to it, 36.30. The low rate here is 36.77. It looks like we'll break that. For me, I'm going to wait for things to pop up today. I was telling that to Arun. The better play for me has been not taking breakouts, waiting for key levels and things like that. So we'll take a 39 short on Rivian, but definitely on the watch today, as the market, when I woke up, was nicely positive. Now we're nicely negative. So I don't know if you've looked at Rivian today or anything like that, but I was probably setting up for something.
Well, yeah, Rivian has been in a clear downtrend. And I like I said, I hadn't gone through Brendan's list until just now. So I'm finishing on my own list, and now I'm going into Brendan's list, and Rivian at the top of the name, or at the top of that list there. And we're going through it. And yeah, it's in a heavy downtrend, but there's some action that you may want to pay attention to. I do think there's better setups elsewhere, but there is a potential for a move here. 36 by 39 is what I'm looking at. If we get above 39, you got a potential for a move towards 40, 41, at which point you're looking to fade anyways because of the big downtrend that it's been in. This is the 60-minute chart, just to show you guys what the downtrend looks like. Since about early March, since 68, here we are down at 37, and we're still kind of just going in lockstep to the downside, right? At what point do you make a turn? Is there a value play here? If there's no support, it's hard to make that justification unless you look through the actual books. We're technical traders, so we'll just leave it at the technicals here. And it looks like the trend is going to continue, at least for now, the way it's setting up. Of course, it's can turn, but I think for me, 39 by 36, get underneath 36, maybe take the low, and then come back and provide some action on the sell side, at which point you could take a look at that. But for now, I'm going to stay away from Rivian. I do have a lot of names that I'm looking at. Roblox, one of them, you mentioned, Sean, there. I did go into short on Roblox just in front of 39 even. So first short is in play. We are looking for the futures to bounce, see if we can grab some more on a bounce.
Just quickly, I want to say a big shout out to Frank Jones. Look, much appreciated, man. It's probably a video, probably not one with Arun, but I think we did it with Neil, about our pre-market opens and stuff, and he really appreciates that. So check us out every single weekend. We're dropping more and more videos for you guys, and hopefully you're able to catch some of them. They're just real quick ones, just to see a little bit of education. And yeah, what's up, Playmaker? Yeah, I heard about Brady, obviously. Tweeted that out yesterday for everybody. Tom Brady is back right now, and I turned over to Marissa and my wife and was like, you know, he's not turning down $40 million or something like that. He's still in great shape. Tampa Bay is coming back with a great team again. The NFC is wide open. Obviously, the return of Aaron Rodgers is something for NFC, but yeah, Tom Brady is back. That won't bother Neil because, you know, Tom Brady is now out of the AFC and he's a Buffalo Bills fan. But hey, congratulations to all Tampa Bay fans and to the NFL. I mean, they get probably the GOAT, you know, back for one more year. Probably just wants to do that swan song dance where you go to every stadium and you get your farewells and your lucky jerseys and all that kind of stuff. So congratulations, any Buck fans and NFL fans out there. Mr. TB12 is back for one more year there, Brendo.
Got bored quick, I guess, with retirement. So congratulations to anyone who is a fan. Let's bring in Frank Caberna, Director of Product Content and Creative at the Small Exchange in Chicago, for a look at some futures action heading into a brand new week. As we said, the Fed, the major event coming up on Wednesday this week. Frank, great to see you as always. Going to be an interesting week here, obviously, ahead of what is expected to be now a quarter point move from the Fed. What do we look at here as far as, or maybe what do we expect as far as movement, you know, Monday, Tuesday, and then into the announcement coming up on Wednesday?
Yeah, great to be here, Brendan. Thanks for having me. And honestly, I'm surprised by the action we're already seeing here prior to Wednesday's FOMC. We're at all-time highs in the 2-year since we launched our small 2-year yield futures a little over a year ago. So that's going back to before the pandemic. Short-term rates are at highs here, and they're blowing them out this morning. Yeah, you can see here when I put this graphic together, we're at 17.5, which is 1.75% in the 2-year yield. Right now, we're well above 1.8% as they continue to rally these interest rate markets, especially in the short term going into this event. Usually, Brendan, it's a really quiet Monday through Wednesday afternoon going into an FOMC. Not the case here on Monday morning. I think we're going to see a lot of action in interest rates. Frankly, I'm surprised by how much action we're already seeing. We saw the risk on open last night, equities higher, crude oil, which now has been more or less synonymous with fear given the geopolitical risks that we've been seeing. Crude oil opens lower, crude oil extends lower, equities come back to unchanged, but interest rates as we speak are hitting new highs for the last few years as notes and bonds come off in price. It's going to be a really interesting week here to be trading interest rates, especially this short-term part of the curve, because that's what the FOMC moves around, Brendan, and that's where we've seen most of the action in the yield curve, that S2Y product, the small 2-year, getting as close to what the Fed touches in the Fed funds rates as you can possibly do with Treasury products.
Going to be interesting to keep an eye on this throughout the next couple of days here as we head towards Wednesday. If anyone's just joining us this morning, obviously the Fed coming up Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll get the decision on Wednesday. You sent over a really good graphic here of where we're at as far as the target rate is expected. Obviously, everyone kind of leaning on this quarter point move now.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. Anyone who hasn't traded an FOMC or is new to that type of data release, they think that this probability here is going to be what the big mover is oftentimes, and it's not. The Fed of the last decade, especially the last couple of years here, very calculated. They talk up what they're going to do months in advance. And so you can see here, we've got almost a 99% likelihood, Brendan, that we're going to get that 25 BIP hike on Wednesday. When that comes out at 2 p.m. Eastern, there's going to be some wiggle. There'll be some volatility, but the greater action is going to come from the press conference at 2:30. Why is that? Because that's what they're going to talk what is coming next. You know, in futures markets, derivatives in general, traders right now are so efficient, so good at pricing in what's going to happen in the next few months that this rate hike has been priced in for weeks now. But at 2:30, when they start to say, hey, this is what we're looking to do in the spring, in the summer, the winter of 2022, that's when you're going to get a lot of movement in interest rates and the other markets as well that we'll see. And Brennan, it's usually an idea of if the Fed comes out and hikes like they're predicted to do here, you might see interest rates see a little bit more of a rise, note and bond prices move lower a little bit. But at that 2:30 meeting, you'll really see an extension in rates to the upside if the Fed is speaking to more hikes than expected in the future. They're maybe not speaking to the geopolitical fears that we're seeing abroad. You'll see that 2-year yield and everything else across the curve will continue higher. Now, if they talk, inflation is actually not as crazy as we thought, we are monitoring these geopolitical risks and we're, a little bit hesitant on that, you could see interest rates actually come off even though they hike. I know it seems weird, but since that hike is priced in, if that rhetoric comes out at 2:30, Brendan, that they're fearful of X, Y, and Z from Russia or inflation, we're not seeing as big numbers that warrant, several hikes this year, you could see rates actually come off even on a hike day.
What that means for the U.S. dollar is obviously going to be important as well. Give lots of opportunities as far as FX traders are concerned. The small exchange also with a product that you can express these trades through, obviously for the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, U.S. dollar is actually one of my favorites to trade on a week like this because the funny thing is the U.S. Federal Reserve will come out on Wednesday and they'll make their decision, Brendan, and then the Bank of England will make their decision on Thursday, and then the Bank of Japan will make their decision right after that. We'll have European central bank meetings coming up and everything else. And so while, yes, what has been good for U.S. rates has been good for U.S. dollars, we might see some upside in the short term if they hike and they're they're talking up more hikes. We might see that US dollar extend to the upside. But I love trading both sides of a market like this. If we see a big swing higher or a big swing lower after the event, I'm getting on the other side just because a lot of these foreign exchange moves start to even out, especially when you talk about interest rate moves across the globe kind of moving in tandem. And so the idea goes, if the US Fed hikes on Wednesday and then Bank of England hikes less than 24 hours afterwards, why would the US currency be appreciating so much than the British pound there? So I love trading this US dollar, any foreign exchange product on any volatility back and forth after the fact.
Touch on quickly, wrap things up here, Frank. Let's touch on some of the metals, which have had also, these amazing moves to the upside, more on the geopolitical side, obviously. But what do we expect again this week as far as, the metals are concerned, the volatility, the geopolitical risk, I guess, the headline risk still there?
Yeah, metals has been pretty much a one-for-one move with risks escalating abroad, gold and silver moving higher. For a second there, it looked like gold was going to make a break for 2,500, didn't, reversed at the end of last week. And actually with the theme of last night's open and continuation in today, metals getting hammered again here on Monday. And if the Fed comes out and says that they're, extra hawkish, they're expecting even more rate hikes, you could see gold and silver really take a tumble here. So this is going to be one to really watch, especially at the highs here. I've got some shorts in the gold and silver market using actually the spree options. I've got short calls and everything else in this market. And you could really see this extension continue lower because if the Fed is hiking rates and there's being more hawkish, Brendan, then that non-interest bearing gold and silver precious metals market should move lower, given that they don't bear any interest and people are going to be flocking to treasuries bearing higher interest and not these flight to quality metals that are already seeing a lot of the luster being taken out, given the risks in Russia and Ukraine being diminished a little bit here on Monday morning.
Yeah, it's interesting to see some of these equities. We saw a whole bunch of equities as well related to the metal and mining sector going crazy last week, but back to the downside, as you said this morning. Frank Caberna, Director of Product Content and Creative at the Small Exchange in Chicago. Have a wonderful week, sir. We appreciate your time as always.
Thanks for having me, Brendan.
Have a great day. Interesting moves, guys, on, as Frank was saying there, some of the treasury yields, some of the interest rate yields as well going into the Fed coming up on Wednesday.
For sure. We want more Frank. Yeah, thanks a lot. The Small Exchange there, definitely an interesting product. And what a smart dude. Everybody commenting on his hair. I mean, the best head of hair here, Trader TV Live. Thanks, Frank, for coming through. Yeah, look, I mean, GLD, oops, that's an Amex name. Okay, we just got short there. Alibaba. But yeah, gold has been absolutely ripping. He talked about some of the ag products, silver, metals, things like that, starting to make moves. I mean, look at this. This is gold alone here on a daily chart. You can see it's traded on the Amex. We've broken out here up to 194. We're pulling back in right now, but what a wild run that was last week. Finally breaking out back up to 194 and then back in. There's also SLV. Silver is another name that you could look at here if you didn't want to trade contracts or anything like that, although, Small Exchange is a great spot for that. Silver, again, trying to break out as well here. Still, running up to some of these highs that we had. Remember, there was a big silver short squeeze push last year during meme mania that never really worked out. Silver's always seems to be underrated. We do have the nickel moves as well, and there's tons of stuff. Wheat was another stock that's traded, and then we'll get to this at some point today, but AGRI, a small Canadian-based agriculture company here with some moves today as well, and this name's starting to take off. So AGRI right back here with some nice volume on the Friday, right back into this 460 level. So another name started to go. I mean, these commodities, interesting space for sure as we go. And you mentioned you're starting to look even yourself over at oil and things like that. So just before we go, Alibaba, and I finally just said to Arun, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I wrote down here on the sticky note, and again, guys, thank you for your continued support of the sticky note and of the my Twitter handle as well. Almost up to 30,000. We have it right, 30,000 followers. We have it right here. Alibaba, more delisting news, and we'll get to this. It's on our watchlist.tradertv.live. But more delisting news. Let's watch 82 short, right? If we get a chance. And we're also talking about NEO here. Well, look what happened to 82 short. I mean, it broke this and then just tanked straight down to 81 and change. So we'll play a little bit of a bounce back here, shorting 81.40s, 81.50s right in here. But Alibaba's another one of those names down 6% on more delisting rumors and talk and accounting issues and things like that. I believe Alibaba is the safe one as far as accounting and everything is concerned, so I'm not super worried about a delist. But again, we're watching this 83 level here in the pre-market. Hopefully that doesn't break, but if it does, we'll get out and relook at this. I don't like getting into too much pre-market, Arun, but you've already sort of motivated me here with some of your shorts.
Yeah, I've got a couple, right? We got SE on the short side at 88.45, and we got Roblox on the short side at just underneath 39. So we're going to ride these two shorts out. I got 3 more orders out there to get filled. If we can get the futures to pop a little bit, then I guess we'll grab those. I've got a bunch of alerts as well. Now, going back to Fed Day, since that was the topic of conversation with our guest there, when we go into Fed Day, obviously you can trade futures contracts, you can trade individual names, but you got to understand that this affects certain parts of the business, not the business, of the market more than others, right? Specifically banks, bank names are going to be hot. So you can also try trading gold if you want. Futures are going to be tough to trade because there's different components that make up the futures contracts. So some will be up, some will be down. That's going to be confusing. And then the other option is TLT, which is the 20-year bond that's available for you guys. So TLT is a great thing to trade on Fed Day. I personally like trading TLT and gold on Fed days and away from the futures contracts just because the movements are cleaner. So just to put things out there for you guys in terms of options, gold is there for you, bonds are out there for you, 20-year treasuries are out there for you, and then, of course, you can go into individual names, financial sectors if you want to. But I would understand specifically which sector you want to play into a Fed name and then kind of work that because it can be a lot happening at one time. And for now, we got Brendan with upgrades and downgrades at the big screen.
Yeah, a few analyst moves of note, as always, guys. Upgrade side, nothing hugely exciting here. Alta Beauty reported last week. There's a firm, as we were saying, news on a firm this morning, also with a downgrade. CVX on here. Morgan Stanley out with a note on the entire oil sector this morning to the downside after the move that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. RCL and Citigroup as well.
Yeah, I was looking at there some not some great names there, and it's disappointing that you get Chevron finally on a downgrade. You do have oil down here. We'll always have it up in the bottom left for a little bit here, as you know, we've talked about it. Arun's talked about the contract as well. Down 4% today. So obviously with the NASDAQ not really moving, it's moving. Don't get me wrong, it's moving. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. It's just hovering around flat here. No real directional bias right now for the NASDAQ. Although you say that, and it's just starting to bump. Now it's giving quite a clear direction here to the upside. But the NASDAQ has definitely bounced around here, and you could see oil today just now getting back up to the upside here, but you're still down 4%, ticking around 105 right now. And that brings me over to Chevron, which, yeah, it's been a good little run for XLE and for Chevron and XOM and Oxy. Occidental there, Warren Buffett today with his Berkshire, now 10% of OXY. So that's a name that could be moving around. But I think you buy these dips. I don't think we're done with oil yet. I put out a tweet the other day, and let's just check out some of the results on this one. And it was, where do we think oil is? And it was literally, it was not literally, but close enough to 50-50 if I can find it here on our votes. And I'll find it in a minute. Oh, here it is right here. This is what we all said. Over 500 votes, about 438 votes. Where will oil be in 3 months? Sub 100. 34%, right? 130 plus, 33%. So forget about all this in the middle here. That's kind of flipping a coin between 100 and 116. But look, just as many of us think it's going to be below 100 as we do above 130 in the next 3 months. That's 30% difference right there, plus, right? That's the minimum 30%. So, you know, to say that oil is confusing and giving a lot of people a different read goes without saying. So I think Chevron on any kind of dips, they have a major buyback. They have, you know, the exposure, obviously, in the right spaces right now. I think Chevron's a buy, but I think you got to let this thing calm down back here to 150, 155, something like that for Chevron. So you're going to see it coming back in today. And that's just what the downgrade's about. It's about a valuations call there and the run-up in oil worth taking some profit. You don't often get to see some of these names go parabolic like this. I mean, Chevron was just at 135 February 28th. So that's 3 weeks ago. We were at 135. 2 weeks ago, 135. We ripped to 175. That's a huge move for such a major oil name. So Chevron, it makes sense that something's coming out. I'm not going to short this name. If anything, we looked at Oxy. Oxy's a crazy mover in this space. And like I said, Warren Buffett now up to that 10%. So you see, even though Chevron downgrade, oil starting to go down, you're starting to see a nice little move upside for Chevron, for Occidental. So let's look at a 58 short for Oxy if it gets up there. But for me, interesting to see CVX on the downgrade side.
Yeah, and for me, I'm going to go directly to the crude contract, right? We're looking at the April crude futures contract. And a nice little bounce here towards 104.79 into 105 and change. The level I've got marked off, which should be right here, is actually 108. So as long as we can find some reason to kind of look for a short between 105 and 108, I think shorts could be on deck here, given how much time we spent around here working this 104, 105 area. So it's a matter of making sure that the sell side action is there, because it could also easily just bounce right up and take out that 108. Crude has been great until it decided that it wanted to go into a range, right? That day when we fell off through that 115 and stops went off, this was on the 9th. When stops went off, we went straight, like $10 straight to the downside, and since then we've been ranging. So you do have to understand that that's the environment that you're dealing with when it comes to the crude futures at the moment, but there is a resistance level. As long as it can set it up, there's a potential fade here on the crude futures, as long as, like I said, as long as we can get it set up. Since it's 9 o'clock, I'll just go ahead and jump right into the futures as well, and we'll just quickly look at what we're looking at on the S&P side of things, right? S&P market, this is the two levels I'm working with right now. 42.65 up top, 41.90 down below. We're kind of boxed in the middle here. I am looking to kind of, as you can see by the board, I'm looking to fade the move up from this bottom end. So essentially, I'm looking for shorts on stocks as the futures bounces up pretty much off the bottom here around the support area. So look to fade. Of course, I can get run over and the futures takes off through 75 and we get going, right? That's good. That's a risk you take when you make a move like this. But at the same time, I think the trend has been enough to the downside and the action has been enough to the downside, especially when we took out that 4,300 and failed. I think that opens the door for a potential extension to the downside. So what I'm looking for, look for shorts on a bounce if I can get it. And then 41.90 would be the next zone that I'd look into to get into a short if I can find one on the futures. For the time being, though, I'll look to fade some stocks. As you can see, I've got 4 out of 5 names that I wanted to fade on a pop. So here we are kind of waiting for these stocks to work out. Market's going to open in about half an hour. Market's boxed in for the time being. Below 41.90, we've got 41.25, which I actually don't have on this chart. 41.25 is the next level that I've got down here. So we've got 3 levels to work with. We're kind of in between 2 of them. We'll see how this market's up. It's up half a percent right now. We'll see how this market wants to open up, and we can go from there. For the time being, though, I am kind of on the buy, I am on the sell side bias of this market. I've got Netflix, Roku, SE, and Roblox on the short side.
We're already, we're short Alibaba here, 50 cents in the money. I'm sure your stock's starting to go. Thanks for people pointing out more fake accounts here. There's nothing we could do, man. Like, you know, you just have to notice this is at Trader TV Shanza with an S. And thank you for everybody. I've already blocked it, of course. And just make sure that you look at it. I mean, they're stealing the pictures, they're stealing everything. So you make sure, this is just one of probably 500 honestly out there that keeps on impersonating. You'll get underscores in here, you'll get all this. It's just Trader TV Sean, Trader TV Neil, Brendan, everything. And just make sure you block them. And you know, we'll never contact you guys. Valeria, anybody will contact you asking for Bitcoin or asking how your trading's going or something like that. So this is just like a public service announcement. Just please, just try to be as due diligent as you can with a lot of these impersonators. It's really disgusting, but hey, you know, I take it kind of as a compliment. We'll take it. But just be very, very careful with some of those guys and girls out there that are impersonating all of our accounts. So just be careful with that. Never, ever send us anything. It's $5 a month if you want to support the channel. That would be fantastic. And we do have some merch that's for sale as well. So other than that, there's nothing else that we're selling. No classes, no master Bitcoin tumbler or anything like that. So just be very, very careful. And I'm going to put a bid here at 80 flat on Alibaba, just around 80. If we could take a buck and change on the first part here, as we said on our sticky note, and again, thank you for all the love here with the sticky note today. This is how you know you've got the real Trader TV, Sean, when we have 72 people liking this, 18 retweets already, and then here it is, man. Take the Alibaba short. That's exactly what we did here. Now we said 82 bucks. Unfortunately, we missed that. We get the 81.50, and now you're down here to 80.50 flat right here. So far so good here on the Alibaba short. Now 50 cents in the money, and let's just see, is it? Yes, it is. Our animations were a little sketchy last week, Arun, so if they don't work, let us know. But down here to 80 and change right here for Alibaba. I'm going to take a one leg out just ahead of 80, and hopefully Arun shorts are working out, and hopefully they're working out for you guys as well, as there's lots to trade here today, Brendo.
The SEC headline continues to gather some steam on the Chinese names. We'll talk about that here as well, guys. That's a link to the watch list if you want a absolutely free resource. Miss V will help you out in the chat with that link. Ask her very nicely. Just worth noting here, Boeing, guys, had a tick higher there. There was a couple of orders that came through this morning for Boeing. There's the recent one, a 35 jet agreement, but not much of a movement. Back above 178. 179, a level from Friday, so heads up on Boeing. We mentioned CBX there on the downgrade side. The first group, I guess you can talk about as far as what to watch this morning is going to be oil, guys, because this is a decent move to the downside. Now 4.5% once again, off the highs a little bit. As far as the stocks are concerned, what is interesting today?
I talked about crude futures. Now let's get into a name that was hot last time I was here. I don't really pay attention to individual names unless I'm really on the show. But at the same time, I do remember Oxy being a big hot name last time I was here. So let's talk about Oxy. Hey, when it comes to Oxy, it's been great pretty much from the end of the month, end of last month until about last week, early last week. And here we are kind of going sideways now. We can box it in 60 up top. That's easy, right? Market's been hesitating between 58 and 59. That's pretty easy to see. So mark off 60. If we get above it, you can maybe take a look at that 64 high. That's one option. Bottom end, it gets a little trickier on the bottom end because if I were to say, oh, if we take through the bottom of 55, then we can go to the downside. Problem is there's actually some decent support around 53 and 52. So I would rather just work with the 60 on its own. So either we're going to look to fade anything into 58 with the setup, or we go for the break, which is if we get above 60, stay above 60 with stability, then you go for the long. When I mean stability, I'm looking for a couple things here. And I say that a lot, and sometimes it gets missed. When I mean stability is break the level, find some buyers that are willing to keep it above the level, and in the event there's sell-side action, I want to see buyers be able to absorb the sell-side action that's coming in through the level. So there's a lot that I look for when I'm looking for stability, meaning I want continued buy-side action, not just stops going off, because you getting long when stops go off always never works, well, not always, it never works out well. So just keep an eye on that 60 marker. If we get a fade in front of it, that'd be great. If we need to force the break, then that'll be a secondary option as well. But 60 is going to be my level on Oxy to watch, and I'm just going to go ahead and put an alert out there just to see if we can actually do something with this.
I see a lot of talk here about Mullins, so we'll look at this right now. Obviously, yeah, thanks again for all the fake accounts, man. I mean, we know about this. And Prad, if they're on the Trader TV Discord, we just got to do a better job with that. And honestly, there's nothing we can do about all of this. So let's just go and just thank you for keep on reporting them. You know, send them to me, report them to Twitter, Instagram, all that. I need to get some shares shortable for Mullen right now because it's a pay for short. So I guess that it excludes my man over here. So we'll get a few shares short, a couple thousand shares. Okay, look at this. So 185 is the top here for Mullen, right? They were featured in a Car Buzz magazine or Car Feed, something like that, magazine this weekend about their Mullen 5 EV cross. Is it a crossover? Yeah. So Car Buzz report highlighting their car. So obviously a good little name right here for them to get going. It's already done 33 million shares. Mullen Automotive was a huge high flyer the last couple of days. Obviously got absolutely crushed to the downside since coming public. But you can see this little top here is 206. That's something to look at. I believe this is a name you could probably take on a break in the pre-market. This should get some social media buzz behind it. We'll check swaggy stocks as well for you, but that's 187.20. It looks like there's a nice base around 160. If I can go to a 20-minute before we throw to Valeria here, it looks like 130, 135. Obviously down here is a good little bottom side for Mullen. You know, you can go short and then you take it out. Like if Neil was here, he'd go short and then give it a couple cents worth of a stop here. Like you can go short 187, give it up to that $2. That's something to look at. And again, I wonder if these EV names are really what we should be looking at for holds. I don't think so. They're just going to be, you know, an emotional kind of run here on the EV space, on what's been played off on the metal side of things, and just, you know, if a lot of these other cars are having companies like Ford, Tesla, Rivian are having a hard time finding supply chain and finding you know, issues with the different metals and stuff like that, nickel, uranium, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be very, very hard for a company like Mullen to survive. But hey, it's a nice little move upside here, and I support the longs. It's with 33 million shares. Let's see if we can hold this 160 bottom. I think that's worth looking at here, but we just paid for shorts, so we'll be on this name in case it does rip to the high side. But I am looking at this break right now. Why can't we break it right here? 204. So we'll see 204 break. First stop, though, is breaking this pre-market high of 187. I think we'll test the long if it takes that out. 188 is we're going to push long 188 on Mullen, and we'll try a 160 dip buy as well. Miss V.
Hey guys, it's around 20 minutes left until the open, and first things first, please smash the like button, guys, and help us get at least 1K likes before the opening bell. Now let's continue with Brendan.
Yeah, let's continue on, guys. Lots to get through this morning as we head towards the open. There was a note on Tencent Music there that, or not Tencent Music, but Tencent that came across on some money laundering headlines. So heads up on Tencent if you normally trade that. Let's, though, talk about Ford. Because they're going to expand their current agreement with Volkswagen on the EV side of things. They also updated some production numbers this morning that were actually to the downside, and they pointed to, again, this supply chain issue that continues. But Ford here this morning, sitting right at 16.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, yeah, Ford is... Well, okay. I guess this shouldn't be a surprise, really. We talked about Ford a while ago when I was on the show that if we got underneath 19, this is that massive consolidation from November, right? And we kind of extended all the way to 25, came back through, and then we kind of got through it and then bounced. And I was like, well, as long as it doesn't actually bounce right through and actually starts to hesitate, you can actually go for the short. And since that point, it has just kind of creeped lower. It's made attempts to go long, but it has creeped lower. And this is what Ford has done for years and years until recently. And now we're going down, and is there any support points? Well, you could argue 1550, which is actually a low from around October. It seems like around mid to late October seems to be a point where it spent some time. That also coincides with the high from June of last year. That's probably your next checkpoint. But after that, you really don't have a whole lot of support levels to work with. So here we are after that massive consolidation, breaking down and starting to leak to the downside. Attempts at buys have come in, but again, there isn't any major levels that are going to stop you, maybe 1550, but apart from that, it does look like it's got that trend activated and doesn't really have anything stopping it from continuing this slow descent. Hey, news can always change the game, right? I guess that's what we got to look for now at this point.
I like that activation. Activated Ford to the downside. Yeah, look, I mean, I've been talking about Ford for a while. It was a nice bump up last week, up to that $18. But things haven't gotten better in the space. We've seen some pressure now. We're going to talk about Tesla coming up soon. They're warning about pressures in the space. So yeah, Ford is definitely going to be under something here. I mean, it's below the 200 period. They're under pressure. They've been under fire for a while. All of these names. And I said to Arun, like, why? I mean, I sold some Ford on the upside, but like holding some of these names feels just like chaos right now. Like some of these names, like Apple's down to 151. That's on our list today. Microsoft is down to 275-ish. Tesla's down sub 800 right now. So there's lots of stuff to buy, but you got to be very, very specific. And I don't know if this is the bottom yet. I mean, none of us know if this is the bottom, but I like this spot here, like you just mentioned there. If you're going to find anything, it looks better on a 20-minute. Here's that 1580 level. So that'll be the first area to buy, which is what we're doing. We're sitting there with a bid order down to 1580, and then we're going to use use 1550. I have one more bid to go. So I have 2 bids in for the same amount of shares too. One at 1580, one at 1560. And then like Arun said, if we take down that 1550, which is right down here, which is sort of going to be a shelf here, we've hit it. Look at the stair step, step, all the way up step. So if we misstep here at 1550, then yeah, we probably do test this next bottom, which is 14 clean. So, definitely a worry spot for me. I'm not as concerned right now because the NASDAQ has bounced back a little bit and seeming like it may have found, who knows, but maybe this is going to be the bottom here in the pre-market. So I think we'll still test that. And if we do, then maybe we do get a flush down for Ford. So Ford, again, another name that we really like, but we can't talk about it without looking at the imbalance locator real quick. Sometimes Ford's on here. It's on here pretty much every day, I should say. But now today, small, 127,000 shares. So really nothing. And again, you're joining us for the first time. Welcome. I'm Sean. This is Arun. We say happy vacay. Temporary vacay for Neil as he'll be back on Wednesday. So we get the master class over here to the right with Arun. But Alibaba with a nice short. That's the only short that we're in. I know Arun's in a couple as well. But other than that, man, there's no buy side at all. LYG, whatever. ZIM, don't even know what that is. And then it goes, oh, here's AMC. By the way, AMC here. I need to hit this because sometimes this will rally a little bit. The apes. I don't know, man. Ooh. Ugh, look how slow that is. We are definitely having some problems with our graphics right there. But okay, here comes AMC. Oops, that's not Ford, that's AMC. AMC just been sick here. Really sick from 15 bucks on Friday at 1 p.m. all the way down now to 14. And guess what, man? We're making those lows again. We just took out that 14.30, and this is a low for AMC. Look at the daily chart. We haven't been here since the chaos days. So we haven't tested below 13 since a year ago, May. So if you look back here, you're seeing some levels just possibly develop down in here. And again, I look at this with a grain of salt. There's so much more information now about AMC than there was down here that it's hard to say like, it's going to hold 12 because it did back in May of 2001. I mean, this is a completely different company. It's the debt situation's turned itself around. I don't know about that MOAS anymore, the mother of all short squeezes coming through, but look out. That bottom wick for AMC is 1340. Is it worth a try at 1350? Yeah, I definitely think this is worth a try long. But let's see what Ape Nation has in store for it. If they don't come in supported here at 14, then maybe that next level is 12. But for right now, Arun, I don't know how you're doing, but we're going to go, wow, and yeah, because right now Alibaba is almost printing us out. We're $1 in the money right now on Alibaba. We are waiting for a lower bid here of 80 flat. We actually bidding 80.10. You know where it just went down to? 80.20. So I feel like we're going to get that. Have you exited any of your shorts yet? No, okay.
So the way I tend to trade is I start building now and I'll exit as
Whenever,
the market opens,
like
and the stocks start to trade. So I'm not going to be dumping anything just yet. Positioning is happening right now for me. I've got 4 shorts. For the most part, it's all based on what the spreads are, right? Netflix has a spread, so right now I'm up a penny on Netflix because of the spread, but that doesn't tell the whole story because it only matters once these stocks actually open up. It doesn't really matter what these stocks are doing right now. BABA, though, I am thinking of joining you on BABA if we can get through 80. I was thinking at 81, but I'm like, I don't know what the risk is to take a shot at 81 with the stop where I want to put it. So I'm just waiting to see what 80 would do. 80 could be an option for the short. Since you were talking about AMC, I quickly took a look at GME.
Sure, yeah.
GME, took a quick look. We're at our last support level before this, not last, second to last support level before we had our massive bounce there twice now. So next up, 80. It looks like 85 to 80 would be your next support level. We're sitting at 92 right now, so we can still get down there and make a bounce, but this needs to hold. If this doesn't hold, next up is going to be around 45 to 50. So a lot of space to the downside if these levels don't hold, and we're just going to mark this off right here because we're not that far away. That's definitely a level to keep an eye on. If it doesn't get taken a look at today, maybe tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow, so we'll definitely put an alert out and see if we can't make a move, whether it's to the long off of that level or it's a break underneath it and we go for the short and see if we can't get an extension down. But definitely some names, some stocks that are, have been in play for a long time. You look at this chart, you're like, damn, okay, we got to like 300 and change like 3-4 times, multiple times, and now here we are on the bottom end of the range, right? That's the situation. A lot of stocks are in. This one more so than not because everyone's looking at this one too, right? So we're nearing support. We'll keep an eye on this one. Maybe there's a trade to be made.
All right. I believe the entire move in AMC from 2 years ago already gone. or right back to where we were before that. Let's talk about these Chinese stocks. That it's worth noting that EDU, that was the top of the imbalance locator there, also a Chinese stock. To the downside in a big way for all of these this morning. This SEC story continues. Some auditing issues or auditing requirements they put into place not being met by certain symbols. I mean, it's hard to believe Alibaba would ever be one of those guys, but this entire group getting hit.
It's nuts. I mean, we're already short Alibaba. We'll look at NEO as well. What's up to David Lewis here asking about, and I retweeted my wife here on Friday. Actually, Friday night, the kids had coding class. So we were going to watch it Friday, but we delayed everything. So fish and chips is a family favorite. Obviously, the popcorn, the bread and butter Chardonnay is a nice one. So we had that Saturday night, and we watched Turning Red. And the thing is that I've never seen a movie, period, that's had more love for Toronto.
Oh, really?
Than this. Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, they show the Sky Dome. It's based in 2002. So they show like the whole writing of the sky. It's really great.
Isn't the director or creator Canadian?
I believe.
She's
and
from
Sandra
Toronto,
Oh is in this as well. She's one of
Okay.
the voices of, I think, the mother. But it's a really good, just a good movie overall. I think my kids really liked it. I don't know if they like Encanto better or not. I'll ask them. Those are the last two Disney movies we watched, but the graphics are amazing. I have that new TV, so it's pretty impressive on there as well. Yeah, look, Alibaba just continues to get hit. I mean, what names aren't getting hit? Look at NIO is another name that's on the watch list today, and it's just been, we talked about this like on Friday, like $18 Friday pre-market, man. And then we closed the day at 16. That's $2 down on 18. Like that's another 10%. Every day it seems to be 10% down. Here's a day where we opened up the day at $20, and then we closed the day at 17. That's another 10% down. Sure, we do have some nice moves to the upside as well, but it's like all of the trend is to the downside. We get some relief here on this day, bouncing back up, but I've never seen NEO. I have seen NEO this low, but man, it's been a long time. Look at this. Look at these moves to the downside here. It's absolutely disgraceful, some of these names, what they've been doing. And look, a lot of us have called these plays, and a lot of us have been buying on the way down and buying on the way up. So it's just been completely roller coaster for these Chinese names. You may get some support into here at $11, but quite frankly, I'm tired of looking at these levels and saying, hey, there might be support here, there might be support here, there isn't support. There isn't support anywhere for these Chinese names, and they're going to continue to get beat down. Why in the world would I invest in a NEO instead of Tesla or something like that? If I really think that electric vehicles are on the rebound, then I'm going to pick up a Ford, a GM, a Rivian, something like that. I feel like the politics behind all of this, the delisting, the funds de-risking from a lot of these names. That's really the problem with Alibaba. And I don't feel there is an accounting risk at all with Alibaba, to be honest with you. JP Morgan is their accountant. They came out, I think it was it Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan? Someone came out today and just beat down all of these names. So as you go, I don't feel like there's accounting problems with a lot of these big names. You've seen Singles Day, you've seen a lot of this. They also have Ant Alibaba, which is another wing that they could spin off. But look at JD here. This was known as a safe haven in the Chinese internet stocks. And what? We broke this $60 and you just straight to the downside. And again on JD, and today you're at $44. And again, into this area, that's 55, guys. Here's a daily for JD. Look at this move. Crash in the last month, or the last 2 weeks, right back into 35. So I don't know where there's support on these names. I just feel like what Arun's doing and what I'm doing is the right play here. And that is to try to find shorts, try to hold on to them, and try to build the positions for the day. So for me on Alibaba, let's just make it as simple as possible. I wrote it down right here. I have shorts going all the way up to 83. So if we can break up through here, 83, then I need to see some continuation. Obviously, there's no levels here. I'm not worried about it. But if the market continues to bust, then maybe 85 will get out. I don't know. I don't want to dump these shorts. I don't have target areas for any of these names. So we'll just have to watch Alibaba. And here it comes right back up. We were already in the money $1 and didn't take it. And here it is, punishing us back up to the upside. Let's see what happens here off open. Has anything changed on the imbalance locator? No, it hasn't. Alibaba's still here with a decent sell. So I don't know if your opinions change on any of your sell side positions, but when I see a bump up, I just want to get more short on these names.
Yeah, for me, I'm not going to do anything with the positions I have, but I am looking at Baba because, remember, I wanted to kind of participate in this 80 level as well. The issue I have with the 80, and this is the reason I didn't want to step in at 81, is that this is the put it in perspective, this is the weekly chart. This is not even a daily chart. This is the weekly chart going all the way back. This is the first day of trading on New York here in 2014, September. And this is the support levels we've kind of blown through. We've taken out all of these 200s, these 150s, and now here we are kind of reaching a little bit here. The market closed, the stock closed at 86.71, right? So we don't have the overnight activity on this specific chart, but we're trading around 81, which would put us right around here. And as you can see, if you go back to about 2016, mid of 2016 through March and May, March through May, there's a lot of activity around 80. That makes me wonder if this 80 break, I do feel like we're gonna probably take a look at 80. It could be just a flash move down there, get some stops off, and then bounce, because there could be a decent amount of activity for about a $5 range here. 80 through 75 could actually bring in a decent amount of support. So everyone's looking at 80, take out the level, why not, blow up some stops, and then snap back up. Because if you're looking for support, that's probably how far you can go back. You're going to have to go back about 5 years at this point, 6 years, almost 6 years at this point. 2014, April of 2016, is where the support level is from. The older they are, you know, they're kind of iffy, but at the same time, at this point, you are reaching for support levels. And I think 80 might bring you something. You might take a look through it, but again, it's 6 years old, so who knows how much activity is going to be there. The trend is, though, this is the trend. From 320 straight down to 86 bucks in a matter of a few months, well, I guess a year, just over a year and change here at this point. The trend is strong. We're reaching one more level, and this is probably going to be the chart that you're going to see across the board. BABA is going to look like this. JD is going to look like this. A lot of other names, Chinese names, are going to look like this, so be careful. If you are looking for trend plays, you're going to have to wait for a bounce and then work the level. If you're forcing the issue, you got to be aware of potential support levels that may kind of interfere with your plans there. And I think there may be something around that 80 mark.
Minutes to go here, guys. Let's get through Tesla and Apple as well. If you missed it on the weekend, Elon tweeting about more inflation concerns for both Tesla and SpaceX still to come. Some other stuff regarding Russia we don't need to talk about. We'll mention Apple here as well, because this COVID outbreak over in China is starting to take some effect with Shenzhen getting locked down once again. So Foxconn, the supplier for Apple, shutting down production for the time being as well.
Look, I don't really have anything to say about all this. We've talked about, well, I mean, I have lots to say about it, but there we go. Now we're short Rivian as well here at 37.90, as for some reason Rivian just pops up there. Let's go over to Tesla. Okay, so I was thinking that 800. I'm actually going to cancel it right now because I don't want to get too short a lot of these names, but I feel like with that warning alone from Tesla over the weekend there about inflation and that, you know, they're not alone with this problem and that this is going to, you know, slip over to Tesla. The thing about Tesla is they have, I believe anyways, pricing power. You know, the way that their car is made, manufactured and controlled all in-house pretty much. They have a lot of, you know, sourcing issues, if that's what he's talking about. So they'll have to get that figured out. Maybe it means a cut in production. Maybe it means they have to pay a little bit more for the, you know, raw costs here. And if they do, they can pass that cost on to the consumer, and people won't mind that. I feel like anyways. Not like Rivian upping the price of a car 10 to 20 grand, and I don't think that Tesla can do that either. It's just I think people are less sensitive to the price of Teslas because that, you know, their car is more of a status symbol, or at least something, you know, if you're supporting the EV space by driving around a Tesla, they have the name brand and everything like that. So I think they can withstand a little bit of price increases if they have to. But this 800 stands out pretty good, man. We've taken this out. This has been definitely an area of support. Now we're well below it. I feel like the fade here in Tesla is on. I do want to short this 800 if the market does pop. We're now short Rivian as well right now. So that's a name I'd rather be short than Alibaba, considering some of those factors that I just said, an established company versus not. So we'll watch Rivian, but I think Tesla's a definite short into these areas. Here's 800 again on the daily chart. It doesn't look so good. We have this big, huge wick here, but we're below the 200, but we're below the 50 and looking to look lower here. So for me, Alibaba's a short until it isn't. And right now, there goes, or sorry, Tesla. But look at Alibaba right now. Now we're $1 in the money on Alibaba, and we'll go, yeah, as it looks like Arun, they're all starting to crash right now.
Yeah, they're taking a look at that 80. I'm going to keep a look at that 80 and see if I can actually make a move on the opposite side.
Oh, we just got out.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we just got out of
Taking
Alibaba.
profit.
So I know we're going to go to Brennan in a minute, and he's over there. But let's just spin this because there it is. It's an early money call here. Short Alibaba, 81.50. We just got filled on that dip down at 80.10 or 80.07 or something. We were sitting there 80.10. It looks like, yeah. So it's a nice little fill down there. No, we got short. Yeah, 80.10. Sorry. So $1.30 there on Alibaba. Let's go to Brendan with only a minute and a half left at the big screen.
Yeah, we're getting close. Let's jump down to AGRI. Bottom end of the board today up on a deal. They acquired another manufacturing processing plant for their products, so up 22% currently, 420 and then 450. Top end of the range for AGRI. It's a long until it is not. It will show you if it's not. So waiting for it to show its hand back to the downside. Mullen the same, not a short until it shows its hand back to the downside, guys.
I think that's going to be a lot of stocks, right? There are a lot of names are sitting at edges where you're going to want to wait for them to show their hand before you go for the move. Here, Roku is starting to make a move finally. That short is working out. Well, for the time being, again, it's all pre-market. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. That short is now 47 cents in the money, supposedly, but the bid is 102, offer is 103. It's a $1 spread. Hey, so there goes Roku. Yeah, you got to wait for that. A lot of these names that are out of the money or in the money, let the market open up. Futures does look like it wants to make a move to the downside with 30 seconds left. Futures sitting at 42.05 now, looking towards its lows at 4,200, I guess, is the overnight low. So maybe we can take a look at that. Round number could open it up. Remember, we're looking below 41.90. Sean, if you want to get on the countdown there.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, good call there.
About,
I don't even know where
seconds.
it is. Oh, God, there it is. We'll hit it.
Yeah,
what a team. What a team. Thank you, Arun. With that, with only 7 seconds to go, we're going to be looking at Ford, Alibaba, where he took the dollar. There's Miss V. 3, 2, and 1. And let's open up this market for you. Jesus. Jeez.
That was loud.
Wow, that was, I don't know if she hit that loud on purpose or like my ears are just ringing this morning as we go, but thank you, Ms. V, for that one. Rivian, we're already short Rivian right now, so this is starting to go to the downside right now in a hurry, man. We're bidding 37.10, we're short 37.90, and bang, there it is, Arun. We start the day off with a banger. Already 90 cents in the money on Rivian, $1.50 in the money on Alibaba as it's crash city here in the market. However, not in the overall market. I'm seeing the NASDAQ starting to go to the upside right here. Rivian, 70 cents in the money, and Alibaba still hasn't opened, but it's showing a buck in the money right here. Microsoft dancing.
Yeah, nice little bounce there. So you see my shorts there. We've got Netflix 6 cents, so flat still. Roku up $2 in the money already. Roblox up 88 cents, and SE down 70 cents. So we're still waiting. There's a lot of opening ranges happening, a lot of spreads still being wide. Roku is falling off right now big time. Now it's at $2.18 in the money. Roku, taking a look at that. It's at 101 right now, but we might be taking a look at that 100 fairly soon, so that'd be nice. You know, big round number could open up some stops. Roblox, wow. Roblox taking out 38, now at 37.60. That's $1.34 in the money. Boom. There you go. Everything's now in the money for me. Netflix, Roku, SE, and Roblox all starting to make their moves. Futures, this is what we wanted, right? Short the bounce on the futures. Futures is bouncing, though, but these stocks are now starting to move as Roku's now $3 in the money and taking a look at that 100 very, very quickly.
Booyah, that's what we like. New position alert on Facebook, new position alert on Mullen. We told you we'd take that high out, and here you go, guys. So because Neil's here, you don't have to worry about anyone getting blown out of the shorts. We're going to go long right now to the upside here. Again, like I said, watch out for Mullen. We're starting to take it out here. Yes. Keep going, buddy. 94. I'm like scalping this out, man. We took a decent position here on MULN, starting to go up to the upside here. 194. Let's go. Let's see what $2 has in store. Let's offer. Wow. Here we go, Mullen. Here we go. A nice little win for us already. $1 in the money on Rivian as that's taking lowers outs here. Here goes Mullen up to $2, guys. So watch out here. I will channel my inner Neil right now, although we're not short. We're long on Mullen and get some out here. We're out of 2/3 of Mullen all the way to the upside. And once again, Arun, watch out because that one is a banger to start the day here. Mullen with a nice little take. We did go short Facebook for some strange reason, so we'll have to look at that. We just got filled there at 187.60. That's not a good play here for Facebook. So let's look into this. And why did we go short here? We're going to find out in a minute.
All right, well,
Rivian, huge.
Yeah, Rivian moving. There, I see Baba's at 78 and change. I guess I should have gone for the 80. Again, there's a lot that I was looking at. Roku is... yeah, I don't know. They took 100. Now they're sitting at 99.70. They're still going. Everything is starting to, and the futures haven't even gotten going yet.
Nope.
That was just a bounce up towards, I guess, 15, and now we're bouncing back down, and these stocks are already falling apart. SE is starting to go now. Roblox starting to go. Roblox was going, and now Roku is through that 100. I want to see how Roku plays around this 100. Right now it's $3.38 in the money, but if we start to kind of back off that 100 a little bit, maybe it's time to start taking some profits, right? That 100 could become a problem. It's a round number. It's early. Why not lock something in just to kind of, not have to take the risk of letting it come all the way back. So for now, we're going to take some profit on Roku. It does look like 100 could be a problem. Netflix is starting to go. SE is starting to go. Future is starting to go. Future is taking out 4,200. Could open up the door for a lot of these names. As you can see, another alert just went off for me. What is it? Cat just went off for me. Why? Oh, I was looking to potentially fade Cat into 220. So I'm looking to fade Cat. Cat's actually running up right now. So if we can get a move to the a little bit higher that I can start to fade. We need to see some sell side activity come in before I can start to fade this, but Cat's an option against 220 on the short side.
All right, so the market's falling down here, and for some reason, Facebook is ripping. So we'll hold on to this short, but not too much past one. Yeah, it's going to take. I don't know why this is happening right now. The market is going to the downside, and our Facebook short that we started down here, we are short right now. Facebook 188.15. So there it is. We're out. That one just took off on us to the upside. So we did take out. Unfortunately, it went up to the upside. We don't know what happened there. Rivian, of course, that's $1.30. We took that one out. Facebook is a strange one. I feel like I'm going to have to short this at some point. I'm really surprised. If there was one name that I thought was like dead out of all the FANG spots, is exactly Facebook. But wow, this is starting to go to the upside, man. We wanted to get this short, but we said flip long. Oh no, in our sticky note, guys, we said flip long if it takes out 188. And instead, I went all the way to 189 with that. That was a mistake there. We got to look at our own sticky note a little bit more for that. But Rivian, still Tank City, down to its days low. Mullen did retrace a little bit back. We took some more out at 92. Let's see if we get some out opportunities here at 95, and then we'll let it flow up. But Mullen does stop there at $2. That was a decent short. We talked about that level, but I think it was 208 or so on Mullen. They're 208 high. We're still long. Let's hold on to this one. I still think there's a really good chance for this to go. So Mullen to the upside right now, and we're long on this, and we're $1.50 in the money on, thank you, Ms. V, we're $1.50 in the money on Rivian, and it looks like Facebook, man, good thing we got out, but why did I not flip long at 188? I'll never know. Looks like that's starting to go. Microsoft dipped down to 287. That doesn't look like that's happening. Maybe we can check out on Tesla when we get back from Brendo.
Oil back to session lows here, guys. Oxy just popping up on huge volume at day lows, so huge sell came in there at 55. On the break of 55, trying to hold right now, but Oxy, big time move to the downside.
Popping the bubble. It's too much Alibaba today. Popping the bubble is Tesla today. Wow, what a move to the downside. It is just Tank City here for Alibaba, or for Tesla, man. Down to I keep saying Alibaba, down to 750 right now. Watch out for some of these lows. Where are we in the 20-minute? We're nowhere near it. So we wanted to short 800, but there it is. A quick look on Tesla. Maybe 750 is something. $2 in the money on Rivian, 13 cents now on Mullen. Mullen breaks $2. Here we go, baby. Here we go. No shorts today for this name. Up to $2 and change. Like we said, man, good trading here for Mullen today. It's kind of a good thing that Neil's not here, because that would have been a short for sure. 207, 208. Let's keep on ripping. Maybe he would have been a reverse long. We're long Mullen right now, 188 to the upside. It's me and Arun. Hopefully Neil will be back on Wednesday, but you had some good shorts too, Arun. Let's go.
Yeah, well, most of them are bouncing back. Roku now, which was $3 and change in the money, is now only $1 in the money, but we talked about this, right? Round number. If you guys can see it on the bottom there, there's a green arrow. That's me getting out in front of now 100. So we've already cashed in a decent chunk there, $3.50 on Roku in front of that 100 after it kind of broke through and came right back in. We also picked up some shorts just recently on AMAT. So AMAT short, I'm short 122.60. That's now 30 cents. It was good 60 or 70 cents in the money, but now that's kind of bouncing back. Just like that, though, Netflix is bouncing back, Roku bouncing back. Futures, after taking out 4,200, is now coming back in. We went as low as like 41.90 something, and now we're coming back into 4,200. So it looks like stocks are bouncing back. Hey, we got some shorts that we can potentially use again. So let's look at for some more shorts and see if we can't fade anything. Brendan?
More Chinese weakness, guys. DD, remember on Friday, had a huge move down to 180, I guess. We're right there right now. We're in the neighborhood anyways. Big volume to the downside again, 3% for DD.
Oh, there goes Cat. Oh, man.
No.
That Cat alert. Remember, we're looking to fade Cat against that 220, right? I was looking for a reason to do it. And what does Cat do once this chart can get loaded? Okay, I'll put it on this chart. This is what Cat does. We're looking to fade 220 Look for a reason. It was at 218 when I looked at it. When I looked at it, now it's at 216. All right, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this one. We just needed a reason to do it, and it just happened way too quickly. With the futures moving, it just happened way too quickly. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on CAT. BABA bouncing back above 80, right? We were worried about what would happen below 80 because of what I was seeing on the weekly going back 6 years. So why going back 6 years into that $5 range? I was worried about what 80 would bring. Now I see what's happening. I'm not going to participate in BABA. BABA is not for me at this point. I'm going to walk away from this. And we've got 2 more alerts out. We got WIN potential move below 70. Now it's bouncing back towards 70 after taking out 69. And WFC as well on the shore above. Yeah, I was looking to fade a WFC against 51. It does look like it's starting to stall out a little bit, so maybe a fade there could be in play as well.
Okay, we're, we got some nice trades out on Mullen, man. I mean, look at that. We went right to that high side again on Mullen. Remember I said the high was 208? I mean, we waited for that, and we took out 208, and we got 209. So Mullen, a big trade for me today. Could be happier with this as well. And then as Arud said, down goes the futures. Down goes the futures, and we'll flush them down. We'll see. It's down now to today's low. So you don't have a futures position on, though, yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so we're going to watch out for that to the downside. And we did reshort Facebook, now 50 cents in the money. So, and again, hopefully a dish best served cold revenge here, hopefully, down to 188. If we can get that bid, that'd be great. We're going to hold out to that. But the thing is that we also don't want to be stubborn about this. We did have on Friday this high right here, 181, what am I talking about, 191.25 or so. We take out these levels, I want to go long. So we get back up here, well, that's a long for me. But we're now 70 cents in the money on this one. We are now $1.50 in the money on Rivian, and it did go low. It touched 36 there. We'll see if we can hold that all day. Mullen came all the way back, man. We're almost out of Mullen, so that's going to be a good trade. Good thing we didn't hold on to that for too long. And then Alibaba, I don't know what's happening here. Is this not even open yet? Alibaba, Brendan, could you find? Oh, it's a quote issue. Okay. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, that would be nice to have known that. Thank you to Gregory. Look at Alibaba, guys. By the way, the price of Alibaba right now is $78. We're short at $81.50. So I was looking at this. So that's for you too. If you know the letters, put it in our chat, please, because I guess it's the high NYSE letters. So like A to something here. Let's check out Citigroup. Is that also not moving? Yeah, Citigroup looks like it's having quote problem as well. So yeah, if you have anything, Arun, in the New York Stock Exchange, like Alibaba's a monster winner right now. $78.30. We're short at $81.40. This is $3 in the money for Alibaba right now. So we're pretty happy with it. We're $2 in the money on Rivian as that's making new lows. And we're 50 cents in the money on Facebook as that's trying to bounce around this VWAP. So let's put a bid out at 189, see if we can get that. But right now, I didn't know that there was a quote issue there. So that's good. A firm day's low as well.
All right. That would explain why my cat chart was not doing anything.
Perfect. Okay. So there you go.
At least on our system. Anyways. For now, we've got, what have we got? 6 shorts here. Only one of them is out of the money. Now 2 of them. WFC was out of the money a little bit, but a lot of the names are bouncing. It's weird to see because when the market was going down, these stocks were not really doing a whole lot. As the market was bouncing up off the open, we were going down, and now the market's taking new lows. We're bouncing up again. It's getting a little confusing. I've got some shorts on the table that I got to keep an eye on. Let's go to Brendan and see what he's got.
Some strength, guys. Moderna, nice day so far, 11% back to the upside. New trial for a new HIV treatment underway, apparently, for Moderna. mRNA-based HIV treatment underway. There's also the Chinese outbreak for COVID, so possibly more vaccines required, you guys.
Ugh, there goes cat, I guess. I guess that cat trade's gone. I can't touch that now. That just broke 215.
Honestly.
Damn. We're looking to fade cat, and that happened way too quickly for me. So we're going to move away from cat. Win, I'm still trying to get my hands on Win. Yeah, I'm trying to get my hands on Win as well. Yeah, I don't know. It was going against that 220. I was like, oh, maybe we can.
$14.
Not 220. It was going up against, what was it?
Win was $70.
Yeah, I was offering out in front of, trying to get some in front of 70 anyways. That's not happening. SE just did a quick U-turn here after taking a look at 87, which would have been $1.50 in the money. Now looking at 89.5. Okay, so I guess we're going to be playing that game on SE and Roku, which is now, good thing we locked some in front of a 100, right? Because now Roku's out 30 cents. Again, we're waiting for these stocks to play out because the futures are taking a look at that 41.90. Let's take a quick look at the futures for you guys. 41.90. is the level that I have marked off. Now, we did get underneath it. We've got as low as 41.8550, bouncing back up. Again, I need stability below that level for me to get involved. At this point, I know there's a lot of flexibility, so now I'm going to start looking at 85 as the marker. If we can get it below 85 and hold well, then we could potentially go for the short there on the sell side. If not, we can maybe flip this to a long as well. We can move the level and flip it to a long. If this market were to get back above 42.20, I think I can start looking for some longs here on the futures. For the time being, I'm going to stay away. This is a tricky area to work with. Yeah. We're going to stay away from this and let it be and let the shorts that we have work themselves out if they need to. I did notice, though, GME, remember, we marked off 85 as the weekly major. We're at 88 right now. So if we're going to find some support, it's got to be in the next $3 to get this market to bounce back. Otherwise, we're not going to get much off of GME, but it is in the area where we can make a move potentially off a weekly chart as well.
Okay, so we finally said enough is enough, and we flipped to the long side now on Facebook. We just tested a baby short there. We talked about that we'd be in trouble on this short, so we tested it. We got out at 191, and then there's the break to the upside. Took a piece out at 191.50, and now we'll see if this can flow to the upside. I check out AMC, but we don't have quotes right now on AMC, so we'll have to wait on that one. Facebook long 191. We're gonna just try to see if it comes back down to 189. I'm gonna hold this now for the long side. The future is starting to go back up for some reason. Like I said, Facebook is just huge today. Maybe, Brendan, is there news on? I know Brendan has something else now, but we'll check Facebook news as well, hopefully in a couple minutes, because that's so strong and it's very, very straight. Does Rivian, guys, spin the money on this one? I know you have a lot of money trades on as well. This is $250 now in the money on Rivian to the short side. No love for this name as it just keeps on pushing lower, lower, lower. We've been short this name since $60, guys. What's up, Brendo?
On Facebook was they pulled back on the Instagram and Facebook related Russian sensors and Russian filters that they were using. That was really the only thing I saw of note for FB. Some of the Chinese stocks bouncing back in a big way. Look at Pinduoduo all the way back and then some on huge volume back to the upside. So buy side coming in for Chinese stocks now.
Chinese names, it's just across the board.
I would have known. Go ahead.
A lot of the deep names that were deep in the money, like Roku, $3.50, now is out 22 cents. Netflix was deep in the money. That's out 58 cents. SE just did a complete reversal. Look at this. Short here, went all the way to 87, and now here we got north of 90. Okay, so clearly there's a rotation happening. I'm keeping an eye on the futures. If I need to spin around and go long on the future, we will do that. But for the time being, I've done the analysis on the short side for these specific names, so I'll stick with them for the time being. We did just get into snow as well on the short side, and I'm going to leave win as well. Remember, a lot of the names that I'm looking at on a larger time frame, so I may have to sit in some of these trades for much longer than I guess you guys would like, because this show's only 2.5 hours. But the day's not over until the day's over, so we're going to let these names play themselves out. GME still working that 50 or that 88 level. Maybe a spin long is available there. We'll keep an eye out for that as well. But it does look like a lot of these names want to pop off here, especially SE, damn. And futures, 46.0675 at the moment. So nice little 16-point bounce off that 41.90. And now looking at potentially taking that 20 out. If we take out 42.20, longs could be on the table for the futures as well.
I mean, look at this Rivian short, man. It's absolutely pathetic, to be honest with you, about how short this name is. We'll tweet this out. But, I mean, this short at 38 for Rivian is just cash money. You're down to 35 right now. So, I mean, those are some good levels there on Rivian to be short. $3 now in the money on that one. And then look at Facebook run, man. This is the other thing. So we're going to make it all back here on Facebook. I'm pretty confident. As this is starting to run to the upside. We just took 92s out there. So we're long at 26s. We just got 92s. 191.90s. So close enough, 192 to the upside as the market's really starting to go. I'm really peed off because honestly, I didn't know that there was these quote problems, and I should have just looked at the net to find out, because look what happened to Alibaba here. I can't even show our charts. Like, this bounce off at 78. Like, I had no idea we were in the money here, $3 on Alibaba. Like, that should have been probably taken out at, I mean, whatever. We're still short it, which sucks. We've already taken profit in the pre-market. But honestly, like, this is really 78, $79 down there. Should have been taken on Alibaba. So we'll wait. You did mention there, Brendan mentioned some of these names coming to the backside now, PDD, JD, and whatnot. So we're going to have to watch out for that. that. But Rivian, honestly, man, this name just keeps on getting cracked lower and lower and lower. And this is $3 now in the money. There's really no spots for this. This is the lowest the stock has ever been right now. And I mean, what a mess Rivian's been. We talked about shorting this since 60, 70 bucks. Every single day it's been on the sticky note. When I make this NFT, you're going to see Rivian all over this thing, down to 35 and change right now, and no clue to get out of this. Let's just hold Rivian as long as we can.
Yeah, one position that was concerning to me, as much as these stocks are bouncing against me, the only one that I was really concerned about was SE. We walked away from SE. That was not going to work out. This is what the chart on SE looks like. That was a short, a nice little, which would have been a nice little winner of $1.50. Now, complete mess to the upside. We're going to take the hit, walk away. SE's done. It's up 1.2% on the day and still going. So we're going to leave it alone. SE has done a full rotation. Everything else is bouncing, but it's not as concerning as SE was. So we're going to keep an eye on, what do we have now? We have Netflix, Snow, AMAT. I just picked up Roku long. Wait, why am I long Roku? Okay, let me take a look at, oh, I know what I'm long Roku. We're going to keep an eye on Roku on the buy side as well. I think I flipped on Roku after being short. But we're going to wait.
Quote's better.
It's better now?
Quotes are working.
I think there was a mess that I got to take care of there, Sean. Can you?
Yeah, sure, of course. Okay, so it looks like the Alibaba quote is now quotable. So good to go on that. Let's go over to AMC quickly because I did, shoot, quotes. I did like a 1350 take here on AMC. So let's go a little long now. Oh man, that sucks. If we can get it, okay, it's coming back in a little bit here. So what's the difference? Here's AMC on a 1 minute. Unfortunately, we don't have any quotes early on that one. Randy, what were you doing to the quote server there? All the way to the downside right now, 1360 coming through right now. We'll see if we can get some longs. I liked 1350. It did shelf there. So hold on. Let me just show you one more time here on eSignal because we have the data there. It was this shelf right here that was made on AMC between 20s and 40s. So I wanted to take that break to the upside. We miss it. It's at the 50 period right now. We'll see about averaging back in. Nah, I can't do it. Did I get long there? No, I didn't. So we're going to cancel our AMC. Oh, that sucks, man. The move's already there. Needs to come back into 1320, guys, before I do that again. So AMC will let the chart sort of gather its strength, and then we'll go on that one. Mullen, just so you guys know, let's just spin the money. You guys like Mullen. I like Mullen. We all like Mullen. A nice little move to the upside there, and we cashed out at 08. Like, look at these levels. We always say zoom out. Like, this is $2 right there. And then if you take it back on a daily chart, if I can find my daily, you're going to have Mullen just a couple days ago hit. Where is it? Right here. That 208. So that was back on March 1, so the first of the month. We hit that same level that we hit today, which is why you're going to see your boy right there empty that out up there at 208, 210. We did hold. Like, we're still into a little bit of it, but now it's breaking lower. So we don't want this when it breaks a little bit lower. That's Mullen. Look at Facebook. Give me that money back, baby. Facebook all the way back up to 192. We're pretty happy with this trade.
Yeah, I'm just taking care of a mess that I made on Roku there.
What was it? What happened?
Yeah, I was short. I accidentally went long after trying to get out of the short.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck a little bit here. We'll manage it out. We got some orders out there to figure out what we're going to do here. GME, nice little bounce here. I am going to start working that level from 6 years ago, it looks like. GME, nice little bounce off that 88 here. Remember, 85 was the level here. Nice little bounce here. There could be a decent trade here on GME, so I'll keep an eye on this and see if I can grab a long. But first, before I do anything else, I do have to take care of this mess, which is unfortunate. Brendan?
Yep.
Not much of a move for Google, obviously, but just worth noting, guys. Russia saying they might ban YouTube if Google does not respond to their request to lift the ban of its YouTube media channels. So Google basically flat on the day, but just watching Google here.
You might ban YouTube. Uh-oh. Valeria, get on that one. We don't need Russia banning no YouTube right now, because then all of our Russian viewers won't be able to view us. But there we go. Alibaba, let's see if it can go to that back down to the downside right now as the market's starting to hit a little bit. We had to wait for the quotes to get going a little bit there, so we'll put a bid down. Bang, right there. Look at that fill right there, man. I got to be happy with this. Alibaba short 82, out 81. Guys, we just made $1 in a minute there, so that's a good trade. We actually got out 81.19 as we're starting to crash lower lower on Alibaba. Again, apologize for the quote issue. We didn't have any there. Randy spilt his coffee all over the quote server, so that's what happened there. But now we're going back to the downside. 80.70, guys. Uh-oh. We're doing it again here today, guys. Alibaba with a big move to the downside. $1 now in the money. We're going to put another bid right here. Let's see if it cracks lower, man. We did get to 78, remember, so these levels aren't even real. If we can get another 80 bid, we'll do that. We'll take $2. Why the heck not? And then we'll hold for that little low again. So $80 coming on Alibaba. And yes, sir, it's a floss kind of a trade right there as we touch 80 bucks again on Alibaba. Rivian to the downside as well here. Mullen, we've emptied out a Mullen, just to let you guys know that. We have 5% left. It came down, it took VWAP. We took one more piece out. Mullen, though, big time success for me today. It's not my number one stock. Rivian is, but Mullen's just chilling out behind it. But now Alibaba is, wow. Alibaba down to 80 and change. What a good move this has been.
Yeah, good move for everything else except for Roku. I done messed up there. I turned a winning stock into a losing stock by mismanaging my orders, and I accidentally went long in a location where I did not want to be long, just north of 105. So out of the short into a long, and then obviously you can see the long fell apart as soon as I got in. And so lost on the short, on half the short, and then lost on the long as well. So that puts a dent on my day. But we've got Netflix going at what, $1.36 in the money, Snow 68 cents in the money, AMAT's 13 cents in the money, Roblox 35 cents in the money, and WFC is flat, now it's at 5 cents in the money or so. So far, it looks like the majority of my activity is going to be on, for the day, it's going to be on SE and Roku, right? That's what I've done so far. And Roku, I just messed up like I told you guys. So SE, let's just take a quick look at what SE's been doing since I got out, because it was running strong when I moved out of the way on, yeah, it's still going too. It's at 93.50. So good rotational move on SE, which when you look at it from the much larger perspective, let's put this up and pull up the 60-minute chart. Damn, okay. There could be a nice little trade here on SE. Now that the short failed on a move back to the upside, I'm thinking if we can settle in, there could be a nice little move to the downside. Since I'm in tomorrow, I'm definitely going to look at this again around 85, because this is a nice little failed move through the bottom. We're going for the short based on that. But now I think we can start looking for some longs here. Remember, anytime there's a failed trade, usually if you're looking at a multi-day or multi-time frame read, then usually if the trade's not going to work in one direction, there's probably a reason for a setup in the opposite direction. You always got to be aware of that, right? So that's what I'm looking for on SC, since that one didn't work out. Roku, I got to just move this off because I don't even want to look at this anymore, because that's just going to bother me all day if I look at it. But Roblox took a trip to the upside and then is now back in the money finally after being below 37.50, bouncing all the way back up towards 39 and change, and now finally heading back down towards 38.30. So here we are back in the money on Roblox and waiting for some more trades here. GME bounced back up, and Win, did it get high enough? No. Okay, I'm going to stay away from Win. I thought there was a trade on Win on a bounce too, but I think I've got 4 shorts. I've got 5 shorts, and I'm going to try to make a move on the futures if we can, depending on what we do, right? From north of 42.20, I'll go for the long. South of 41.85 with the setup, I'll go for the short and see if we can't figure out what to do. What's crude up? Crude's down. Oh, crude's down almost 7%. So I'll take a look at that next when we come back from Sean.
Look at this, guys. Alibaba just absolutely collapsing. We did take another bid down there. So we just got 82 short on Alibaba. We took an 81.20. Then we just took an 80.50 there. And now you're starting to make new moves down to 79. We just bounced off 80 flat. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to wait for 79 bid. Remember, we had the quote issue here. So if I pull up the 1-minute chart here for Alibaba, this is going to look a little bit better. Not a little bit better, a little more true, because it shows the actual fills. I think we can retest down here 79. So that's where, here it comes. Holy shoot. As I think we're allowed to say shoot. There's the market absolutely collapsing right now for Baba. It just took down 79. Wow, Alibaba. A big move to the downside. $3 now in the money on this trade. Like, we just put this 82 short on, man. We are bidding 79.20 as it is absolutely collapsing. I don't know if there's anything else happening right now, but this market is see you later, man. And unfortunately, we're getting tossed around again in stupid Facebook. Like, this is the only stock, just like your Roku, this is the only stock that we've stepped on ourselves. We went short initially, which was bad, and then we took some nice wins long, and now we're stuck averaging long because, hey, we thought maybe the market was going to hover today, and we knew that Facebook was up 2%, but now Facebook is coming back down to the downside. This is a very risky name, as we've talked about, with some of the sanctions, some of the bans happening, although they've already kind of stepped away in Russia. They've already banned Facebook, but this is a move to the downside. Obviously, news happening on Google and things like that, not good. Holy crow, man. We got our 79 bid on Alibaba. What a day. If I just ignore this stupid Facebook, man, we are laughing today. $3 in the money on Baba, $3 in the money on Rivian, and Brendan's got something.
Showing a lot of relative weakness is Alibaba. Look at Futu Holdings, guys, another Chinese name, straight to the upside ever since the open, along with JD.com, PDD showing strength as well. So Baba definitely the weak one today.
Yeah, a lot of names now starting to rotate back to the downside. Future is not doing a whole lot. They're still between 4210 and 4200, but individual names taking off because now Netflix is $2.50 in the money. Snow is $3 in the money. Roblox is now $1 in the money. And, you know, this is the last time I'm going to say, I'm going to let this go after this, but Roku, it went from a positive name to a flat name now because of that mess up. But, okay, now I'm done. I'm going to let it go and move on because we do have some big winners that can cover the losses. Actually, no, it'll be flat. But anyways, we can make some money off the other names. And we're WFC, a penny. And the reason I'm going to go over WFC, because not everyone trades this just because, you know, it's a slow mover, whatever the case is. But look at where we are. Why not take a look at this? Around that 50 area, I was looking to fade against this, this 50 because of the support that we got around in early March. There's some resistance there. We've seen it a couple of days now, and it did start to show some sell-side activity in front of that. So I'm like, you know what? It's worth a shot. It's a bank name. It's not a high flyer. It's not exciting, but at the same time, these are the kind of names you can build a position with decent size and then work them, right? So WFC, I am doing that. It's 4 or 5 cents in the money for the time being. But again, we're at a nice little level where we can actually get some rotation. If we get the rotation, it could easily be $1.50 by the end of the day. So it's going to be that time frame that you're working with on a name like this. But that is starting to kind of do something that's helpful. So we'll keep an eye on this as we manage the other names that we have right now.
I don't know. Thank you for the comments here. Is it BMW? Yeah, BMW. I don't know what you're talking about with skipping and pausing. You guys let us know if there's a problem on the feed side of things, because I was just going to say, and we love the support of all of our viewers, and I don't know, we're not doing anything on our side, man. It is what it is. It's the internet. So hopefully it's not pausing and skipping, and if it is, we do obviously apologize for that one. So yep, we'll work on that, but our feed seems to be pretty strong. Let us know if it's happening to all of you, and we can look into it. But so far, so good here. We are averaged into this. The only thing that's not working, of course, is this Facebook long that we've talked about, down to 189. We're going to have to give this down to 188 where we first broke it out. But again, short, we were wrong. Long, we're wrong. Facebook throwing me around here. It's the only name that we're in trouble. $3 on Rivian, $4 now on Alibaba, guys. $4 in the money on Alibaba, which is the #1 name here on our sticky note today. So we're pretty damn happy with it. I'm glad to have Arun beside me, man, holding on to some of these trades. That's what's important for us here today. Hopefully you're following us, and wow, let's go, man. This market is topsy-turvy. And with that being said, no better segment right now than over at the big screen with happening now in Brendo. Or Market Watch, or what's happening now?
Yeah, choppy start, definitely right across the board, guys. Let's have a look. We are still positive on both the S&P and the Dow. That is it, though. The NASDAQ, as we said, right out of the gate this morning, showing some relative weakness, led things into negative territory in the pre-market. Here in Toronto, the TSX about 0.5% to the downside, already 6 for crude oil. As we said, back to session lows. Crypto's not really doing a heck of a lot at this point. We'll show you a couple things we were talking about in the pre-market here. Ford expanding their agreement with Volkswagen, not doing a heck of a lot so far. JD, obviously one of those Chinese companies, showing a little bit of relative strength so far, although still down 10% at this point. My Tesla won't pop up. There we go. 2% to the downside for Tesla, guys, off of that Elon tweet on the weekend. Back over to you.
All right, let me take this real quick here because whoa, AGRI halt right now. So Agri halt to the upside, just taking out $4. It looks like this is, and again, Brendan will have this obviously at the screen over there. This is going to be a, what do they call it when it's a move halt? The 10% up. Volatility halt, right there. So it looks like this is going to be a volatility halt to the upside right now for AGRI. If there's any news, we will bring that to you. But we know what this name's all about. We talked about that with the small exchange today as well. AGRI making moves, and F this, man. Bang! Finally, man, we waited for it to come back. Facebook finally does its little dance. We take out a flat piece. Now let's ride this to the upside, man. Facebook, we took that out for flat. We took out 20%. Now, I mean, look, I can't just get out. This is the thing. This is what's changed for me, man. Before, and this is, again, all thanks to Arun sitting right next to me, and I swear to God, it's holding the trades that are working for you, honestly, and just, you can't hold something, and he tells me this all the time, you know, you can't hold something $1, and I heard this with you with Pratt as well, you can't hold something $1 against you, then when it comes back to flat, you just get out. Sometimes you have to trust your read, and that's exactly the word, I mean, again, hope I'm not taking words out of your mouth. No. Well, I sort of am, I think. And that is trust your read.
Yeah.
And I was saying to you too, a lot of those positions that you had short came back nicely for you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what you have to do. We can't control this market. All we can do is read the charts, trust what we have here. And I'm talking like this. I mean, Facebook's in the money 10 cents. So it's not like this is a monster trade here. But let's see if it can get back up to the upside. And the bottom line is trust your reads.
Yeah. Talking about reads, Roblox, I'm going to walk away from Roblox. It's not showing me what I want to see, especially around this price point. We walked away from this just north of 38.70. It's like a 20-something cent winner. And it was nice. It was great. It was 39 short. It was at one point, it was like $1.50 in the money, and then all the way back. And then it was $1.20 in the money or something like that. And then now it's all the way back. I'm done. There's too much happening at a price point where I don't like, that should not be happening. So we're going to take our 20 cents. Yes, it can still go, but I'm happy with a 20-cent winner with what's happening. Like Sean said, trusting the reads, right? My read is telling me that something's not doing, or something's not happening the way I want it to. So at this point, Roblox taking the winner, walking away. Netflix, $2.33 in the money still, and Snow was $1 in the money. WFC out 6 cents, and AMAT 24 cents out. Let's take a quick look at AMAT because I know where all the other names stand. AMAT, yeah, I'm okay with this, right? The read on AMAT is this break below 122 and change. Well, it's actually 123. The reason I got 122.60 is because I got a little aggressive, right? I'm trying to play the bottom end of this little sideways move, or not sideways move, but the bottom end of this bottom from 8th, 9th, and I guess 11th at this point. And we're looking to just work the bottom, put the stop up here, and see if we can get down towards 120. That's kind of the read that I'm working with. And once we get to 120, I'll turn the management, I'll start managing this position. For the time being, we're just going to sit this one out because right now it's back in the money, like 8 cents, right? And that's going to happen. A lot of times when a market's like this, I thought there was going to be a lot more activity in this market once we got through 41.90, but clearly it bounced right, it snapped right back up. Now it's just going back and forth between 4,200 and looks like 4,215. It looks like that's the kind of market we're going to be dealing with, even though crude is just down 6% and falling apart, I guess, at this point. So we're going to wait for this market to figure out what it wants to do. Until that happens, throw some names in the chat. I'll take a look because right now all my alerts are, everything that needs to go off has gone off. So I don't have any more names that I can look at. So if you guys have names that are setting up on the multi-day time frame, throw them in the chat. I'll take a look and see if I can grab a trade there. What are you looking at, Sean?
Man, I just said SoFi. I mean, I didn't say it. I said the other word. It's S word. That's 4 letters as well. But SoFi, wow. Here it is, man. It touched $8 today. SoFi touches $8. Don't tell that to my main man Pradley over there. Dumped all his money into SoFi and Palantir and AMD. These are 6 stocks these days right now, man. Down to $8 goes SoFi. No, didn't even realize that, man, today. It is now below that YOLO level. Where's the daily chart here? Here it is on SoFi. It's now below that 840. This was the risk that we talked about today, was coming in and YOLOing off that 840 level. You're now down a little bit. Okay, we talked about trusting our read, and unfortunately, we've trusted it pretty good here on Facebook. We reloaded it again at 189, and then we just took it up to the upside back to 190 again. So we just made another dollar. We'll keep flossing this off on Facebook. It's not a dollar. Like, these are just believing in these 189 bottoms and getting them back out. You guys know, average. It's a winning trade for us. We're going to turn Facebook right around, hopefully, but it keeps on resisting this, man. It's going 189 to 190. If this market cracks, and I'd rather be short today than long. I mean, and I know they're going to look and say, well, I'm long Facebook here, but look what we're also short, man. We're short Alibaba. That's $3 in the money. So it's like, if this market crashes, I do have some cover with Baba, and I do have some cover here with Rivian. Like, okay, Rivian, maybe we'll have to get out. If it takes out this 36, it completely changes on us, then we're getting out of Rivian. So I'm glad I looked at this right now. 36.20 out Rivian. We should have got out 35, but hey, we've held this before all day and cashed in 3, 4, 5 $35 like we did right here. 38 downside to 35. We laughed at that. But again, we have to get out if it takes some of this out. And we're just trying to be as disciplined as we can. 36.20 out on Rivian. Monster move back up here for Facebook as it's now reaching the high of this little zone here. 190.50. Yes, sir. Let's go Facebook. $3 in the money, Baba. $1 in the money, Facebook. $2 in the money, Rivian. And we're always in the money when we go over to Brendan.
It's Miss V, and I've got a super chat from Isa Mohammed saying, this is for Miss V and Heart. Thank you so much, Isa. I hope you're having a wonderful start of this week. And guys, it's a busy, busy day so far. And I remind you to like this video. We have more than 6,000 people watching, only 1,100. We can do better. And if you want to support me and the community as Isa does, please smash the like button, and back to you guys.
All right. I was looking in the chat for the names, and somebody, Ant, I think it was, put in Pfizer. Pfizer fade against 53. I actually like that move. I'm looking at it as well. It's a little strong. For the way it's been moving, it's not ready yet, but I do think 53 is an option. So I'm on that read with you as well. We're going to drop that 53, see if we can actually look for a fade. But the strength, right? You got to respect the strength until we get to the point where we can actually fade this and turn it around. I'm going to keep an eye on this a little bit longer before we get into that move where we can actually spin this trade around. But for now, Pfizer's definitely on deck. Brendan?
A couple minutes ago, guys, they just said they're going to maintain humanitarian supply of medicines. If we could show that there, Rob. There it is. Thank you. Maintains supply of humanitarian medicines to Russia to stop new clinical trials in the country as well for Pfizer there. So a nice bump.
Let's go right now. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. I was just going to say, man, doesn't matter who's sitting here, Arun, Neil, whatever. We're going to stay true to what we're doing here. And here it goes, man. Facebook, nice little move up to 191 right now. Yes, sir. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day and just ripping today. This has been a great day for us here. Like $1.70 now in the money on Facebook, $3 in the money on Facebook, $2.20 in the money on Rivian. I'm thinking that we're going to short this Rivian spot actually, and we should have shorted that 35. So we're going to wait, 36. We're going to see if it comes back up to VWAP here, protect that short, see if we get another monster to the downside. And by monster, I mean if we can get 35.20s, something like that, if we reload the short here, which I want to do. So if we can reload, here it comes right in. So we'll reload this. The thing is, like, I'm just watching the Facebook just take off right now. So that's been a really good trade. And I don't know, if we should get more short Rivian or not. Let's check out Ford here. I think I'll try it, but where's Ford? Ford back to 16 and not really moving. Okay, Brendan with more news.
I mentioned Moderna earlier. Their partner also benefiting today. Huge move for BNTX here, up 16%. Just took out day highs, guys.
These names are these med names are definitely going
they're
up.
Flying.
Yeah, they're taking off to the upside right now.
All right, let's go short here. 98s on Rivian if we can. There we go. So now we have it. Now we can put in our stop order, guys, for Rivian. I don't want to give this one too much. We've already hammered this pretty decent today. So on Rivian, it's right at the 50 period, which is 36. So like I said, if we just up this just a little bit more, like this 36.40 area, 36.50 on Rivian, we don't want to give it back. But again, guys, like, I feel like this move in the market, we're already now, wow, we're $2 now in the money on this Facebook trade. Did not think of that. Let's put an offer here, 190, 150 in case we get it. But we do have to watch this Rivian trade close, man. 36.40, 36.50 is going to be the out. We'll take one more. This is just one average. Forget about this trade. This trade's over with, man. We hit that to the short side. Now let's start to build new Rivian positions. So we're short into this. We're going to use it until 36.50. That's the trade for Rivian. And I'm going to put an offer out way high side. Baba's $3 in the money still, and Facebook is 2. So I think we got to do some work here because the futures, like, they're ripping up here, and we're glad we're short these Chinese names. I don't know if you're short a Chinese name or not, but they are just like going the opposite way here. So let's hold on to this Facebook, but let's not be too greedy with it and get out at 191. We're already $2.50 in the money. 190, 150 is right here, right now. Let's go Facebook.
Yeah, so with the market rotating, now looking north of 42.20, I did mention that I wanted to maybe potentially start looking for longs on the futures. That also means that I got to start protecting some of the shorts. Now, the shorts that I've got, for the most part, are doing just fine, right? Netflix has held up well. That means I've got to lock in some profit. I have to lock in some profit and move the stop down on this. Snow is starting to come back in. Snow's got a much larger time frame of a read, so I'm going to leave that one alone. That one's out 30 cents at the moment. WFC's starting to move against 50. Again, that's also against much more of a major level. AMAT is now starting to go against me. So we're going to start protecting and moving some stops here, not too aggressively, but I do want to, the ones that are setting up in the right spot, I'm going to leave alone. But Netflix is starting to mess around a little bit, right? It should have gone already. If that short was valid, it should have gone already. It's $1.60 in the money now, but we're going to protect this. In the event this comes back in, I'm going to take away maybe 40, 50 cents or so and call it a day, but I'm going to give it a chance. Remember, futures taking off towards, now we're north of 42.20. So as we get above here, find some stability, I'm probably going to look for a pullback towards that 10 and then start to look for some longs. I'm not sold on the long just yet, but I do want to see some activity. I'm preparing myself for a rotation here from shorts to longs on individual names. So we're going to start shedding some names and start bringing some longs. As I say, that BNTX is approaching that 160 marker, which I had put out. I had marked that down after Brendan mentioned it. I was like, okay, 160 could be a nice little level to work with, but it's already gone 20 bucks. I don't know if I want to go for a long just yet, but I do want to mark off that 160 and see if I can't work with that at another point during the day. Brendan?
RCAT, guys, little drone maker popping up at day highs as well on decent volume here. A little bit thinly traded, but a heads up on RCAT. They got a new U.S. Army contract just announced this morning for this one.
Man, we're now $3 in the money on Facebook. Yahoo! Going to the upside. And then we'll also fire off a little sausage cannon here because we were lucky enough to be sitting here. And again, pick your levels on Rivian. Like, we were sitting here at 35.80. This came crashing down. And why were we at 80? Look, top, bottoms there. We sat there. We were able to get that fill. So we'll see if we can average it one more time in again. 36.20 we're waiting for. But again, a good little fill up there. You just got to put the bids out. So I'm going to put another one out. Actually, I did put another one out downside here. So we'll see if we do get another bid down here, 35.20. This one's a little bit lower. It's actually 35.30. We'll see if we can get that fill. But there it is again on the reload for Rivian. Absolutely destroyed this stock today. And the reload is right there. And this is the Facebook I'm talking about. And it sucks because, and I saw Taco Eater there talk about pigs get slaughtered. So we'll fire off some hot dogs, which is, I guess, a pig thing. Maybe this is pretty nasty right now. But here we go. Where's the pigs? There it is right now. Holy crow. To have held this would have been a day, possibly like a week maker actually for this trade for me. But there it is, up to 192.50 now. Look at these reloads. 190, like we went long here. We're like, no, we're still going long. We went long 190.25, came back in. We went long 189.50. Then we loaded it up twice down here at 189. You're at 192, so it's a $3 win here for Facebook. Just a nice little motorboat to the upside here as it continues to go, man. 192 and change. No stopping Facebook, it looks like. Maybe Uncle Zuckerberg here is in there buying options or something as this is starting to go. Baba's stayed pretty weak here, but again, we take out this $80.20 or so, we're going to get out of here on Alibaba. We've seen the move back up. There's no surprising if it goes again. The 50 period and the VWAP are starting to merge a little bit here, so that to me, I don't really like that sign. 80.25, we're out on Alibaba. And I mean, it'll only be a $2 winner, but hey, we'll take it on this name. Alibaba looks like it wants to make a move, so we'll be here to take it. So Alibaba, 80.25. I would reload the short, but again, we're missing data here. That's fine. It's just, I don't know why it ripped up like that. It could happen again for Alibaba, right? Someone just comes out, changes their mind on some of these Chinese names, and off we go to the races. So I'm going to hold out for Alibaba and see where we go. But over there again, Brendan's been a busy dude today. What's up, man?
Baidu, guys, just popping back to the upside here. Big move higher. Just went from 106 through to 109. Just going to double check on Baidu, but another one of those Chinese stocks that was getting pressure to the downside. Worth noting, just watch the market overall. EU just coming out with new sanctions, it looks like, for Russia, guys.
Okay. Alibaba, I just want to make sure, did that order go in there or what? Did I just get out of Alibaba? No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, I put that order in for 80.25. I thought it just executed, but it didn't. We got filled on nothing. Oh, we got filled on Rivian. That's what it was. So Rivian, we are now, look, we'll be in Rivian this time, but not for a long time. If this goes back up, our trade is coming out of our account on a 36.50 break. So I'm mechanically trading this one. We have the stop orders in there. If we take, I mean, I'm not even giving it to this high. Normally, I'd give it up here to 37. It's just we've already hit Rivian. It's a positive name for us today. The market is definitely getting heated a little bit here, up 0.64, which is a nice move from these bottoms. We were read about 0.5% or so. So it's a nice move back, about 1% all the way back up. Rivian, I still believe is a short. Obviously, I'm in this name. But look, we have broken out now. We're above. You can see the 50 period starting to turn up. So we're above some of these indicators, and I only use 2 of them, man. A 50 period on a 1-minute chart and VWAP. So we're above here. So my opinion on the short hasn't changed. It's just I'm not as greedy right now. We're above this. It needs to take this out. If we could take another fill here, then fantastic. We'll take it. But right now we're holding out for a Rivian move to the downside here. So that's what we've got planned. 36.50 is our out. So if that comes, you know that that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, so I've started to rotate a little bit. As you can see, I'm out of Netflix, walking away with $1, or not $1, right? It's about like 80 cents or so on Netflix. We've walked away from Snow, made like a few pennies there. I've just dumped my AMAT loser. That was like $1 and change out, like $1.50 or something. I missed on AMAT. AMAT's chart is starting to rotate a little bit, so I don't like AMAT's chart as I say this though. There goes Snow, $1.50 to the downside on Snow. Damn. Okay. Anyways, leave that aside. I am starting to go into coin now. Coin on the long side is starting to set up on the long side. I like the way futures are setting up on the long side, so I'm going to start to look for some longs that are strong, right, that are setting up well. I might even rotate into Netflix on the long side. Remember, we made money on the short. Now Netflix is starting to show a decent amount of buy-side action south of 338, which was a problem in the pre-market. So now with that stability and the futures now being on our side, for the long side anyways, I'm going to start to look for some longs. And some of the previous positions that I've had on the short side that have kind of spun around, now I'm going to start to see if I can't find a long there. So coin is in play. Netflix might be a trade that I want to get into. Pfizer, we're still looking for a potential fade against 53. Not a fan. Trend's strong. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but Pfizer is a potential play as well. And for now, for the time being, I've got 2 plays, right? WFC on the short side, coin on the long side. That's it. We're going to kind of hold these 2 until I can figure out what other names I want. And I might even get into futures if we get the right price with the right setup.
Ooh la la, some futures talk. Okay, so just so you guys know, we did go fail on Rivian. We took it out at VWAP for 20 cents. We're going to wait now. Remember, we're short here, 36.20. It just came back down. We took 20 cents. And then we did their famous move. Watch out, because we are... So we're reloaded now into Rivian short, man. Right at this level here. Wow, Rivian, okay. A nice little 20-cent winner again, man. We just reloaded this thing. So if we can get it out again, we're waiting for a little bit lower this time. Why not take a 35.80? Like, we could have just reloaded that again. We're in scalp mode right now for Rivian. And again, I still feel like the short is here, but it's just resisting this 36 dump. If it gets going again, we are bidding just to make sure here. Yeah, 35.80. So we're down here at 35.80, bidding this level one more time. So we'll see. Hopefully, we don't have to get reloaded again, and I'll just continue to go to the downside. So again, 35.80, right where we took that. Come on, tick lower, man. Stay a minute below 36. If we could stay a minute below 36 here, then I believe we're fine. But see how it's dancing around this 36 level? Me no likey right here. Alibaba, though, guys, what a good out for that one. We'll go, oh my God.
Oh my God.
And we'll get out of that one and we'll floss it off, because there's the Alibaba out at 80.20, like we said. Now it's floating a little bit higher. We're super, I mean, today, man, I don't know if I'm getting some good vibes over here from the man to my right, but this has been a great day. The only stock that we were worried about was Facebook, and we turned around. We rolled the dice on that one, and it comes up Instagram, not Facebook. Instagram more popular. And there it is, the double sixes here as Alibaba moving around. We just need Rivian. Stay a minute below 36, my friend. Anything you want to update before we go over to Brendo?
No, we can go to Brendan. I'm still waiting.
Big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, lots of small caps moving around this morning as well. Let's talk about this AGRI. I mentioned probably not a short unless it shows its hand into the open there, just after the open. Big time seller showed up in front of 4 that gave you a shot in a quick trade back down to 350, 360 on the short side. This then halts as that seller got broken, so they printed all of it, and it gets up to 420, halts to the upside, test 460, comes right back down below 4. So holding below 4 is the key if you're going to be short on AGRI. Some volume coming in as we speak here on this thing, so heads up on AGRI. Mullen, I tried the long. through the high 190 up to 2. I mean, it went to 209, 210. So not a huge move. Comes right back down. Fails at 2 again. So I'm just using 2 now. I am now short on Mullen back to the downside. I'm going to hold that now just to see what happens for the rest of the day. HYMC, if you remember, had a huge crazy move on Friday. I was watching a few levels higher here, 180, and then this is 2 or 210, I believe, a couple of levels from Friday afternoon. Already gave you a trade, stop you out if you were short the rest, back above that 150 level for HYMC. Guys, back over to you.
All right. You know, when this market's starting to make a move like this, with the upside action, we're going to start looking at some names that have been down big on the day. Baidu, some Chinese names have been down on the day that are starting to take out some key levels here. I'm looking at PDD as one. Sean's got, he's been trading BABA pretty much all morning. And now I'm looking at PDD. BABA's a messy for me, especially around that 80, 75 through 80. After I saw what was going on, I want no part of that. But PDD, a lot cleaner. North of 30, I'm looking for some stability north of 30. If I can get it, full rotational long could be in play here, north of 30, going up towards 32.50, 32 and change. So for now, we're going to wait on PDD. Another name I want to look at, Baidu as well, doing the exact same type of setup. So north of 112, find some stability, see if we can't get back towards that 118. This looks a little bit more enticing because the range, the gap that's available is much larger than PDD, right? That's like $2.50 or so. So I can risk about $2 to $3 on Baidu and still try to get about a 3 to 1 payout here if we can get it back into that 120 area, right? So I'm looking at Baidu specifically. I just want some stability. I don't want to step into these names without stability. The problem is with the market doing what it's doing at 42.20, it is backing down a little bit, right? This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a move above 42.20 and then a pullback that I can actually work into. If we keep going, this is not helpful for me if I want to position on the future. So I want to pull back a little bit. So nice little move to the downside. If we can use that and time that with the stocks themselves and see if we can't find some decent setups, then I think that'd be the ideal way to go and try to position myself. So that is what I'm looking at for now as we kind of work into the 10:30 time frame here out in Toronto, anyways, Eastern time. Brendan, what do you have?
Just looking at some of the airlines, saw somebody talking about AAL, guys. Obviously, with the move in oil back to the downside, some travel names going to benefit after the move down we saw last week. So even Delta, all of them, really nicely strong. Just broke 33 there for DAL.
Yeah, there's rotation. It's a rotation move. It's a rotational move across the board here. As I say this, PDD is now at 30.60. He just broke 30, by the way. And Baidu, which had just taken out 112, is now at 113 and change. So clear acceleration to the upside as the futures ticks a couple points higher. Now we're at 42.25. We only went up 5 points, but as you can see, stocks that were weak earlier that have found some buying are now accelerating as a future step in to help the case. So we're still looking for some longs here. See if I can't grab into those. See if I can't grab into Baidu and PDD on a pullback. I'm still waiting for that pullback. I don't want to force the issue on any of these names just yet. But the two positions I do have, though, coin, well, as I say that, it was 70 cents in the money, which is now 35 cents in the money. So it got cut in half as soon as I said coin. So clear spread there, but futures making a move towards that 42.30. So we're getting acceleration on the upside on the future side of things. So definitely going to start looking for some longs here if I can position for a pullback. Key thing is for a pullback. I am not forcing my hand or forcing the issue here by chasing these longs that are running.
It's 10:30 already, and no better time to have fruit salad time right now. And today's fruit salad brought to you by one of my favorite fruits, melons. Fruit category here today. The only fruit that's in here apparently is cantaloupe and whatever I call it, honeydew melon. I don't know what the proper terminology for that is, but it's melon time. So yeah, grab your fruit salad and have a bowl or a cup with us here, and we get catered. And so that was like, you know what, there was some sweet stuff there, and I was like, nah, you know what, I'm going to grab the fruit salad. I don't like that. There's Rice Krispies. You a fan of Rice Krispie squares?
No, never. Not a fan.
I like Rice Krispie squares. What would be your, I don't know if you have a sweet tooth or not. I don't think you do too much.
No.
But what would be your sort of, maybe, I don't want to say dessert. Not really a dessert, but like a pastry, maybe like if you were at a coffee shop or having a tea or something, and it's like, what would there be, you know?
I used to like
I like chocolate croissants.
Chocolate croissants are good.
Yeah.
I used to like Danishes. Like on the sweet side of things, I used to like Danishes.
Would it be a cheese Danish? Would it be a sort of a fruit variety?
It'd be like cherry, it'd be either cherry or strawberry. Like only those two. Or actually no, and lemon too. I do like lemon Danishes as well.
Oh,
but I'm not a big sweets guy anyways. What are we looking at?
We're unplugging ourselves right now. Thanks for the talk there. Got everyone probably pretty hungry, but we're going to choose to go the healthy route today with the fruit salad. But there's Rivian. Hell yeah. How does that taste for a little face slap action right now as Rivian, man? We just talked about shorting that, and there it is. There's a double short again. I mean, I can't do it any better. I talked about sitting there at 35.80, back to back to back to back to back to back to back jacks right there as we'll go case closed on some of those levels right now for Rivian. And now we'll just wait for this one, man. We are just really, really on one today. Facebook goes all the way back up to 192. This has been a great month. Like, thank you guys for watching. This has been an absolutely fantastic little run here for me, for sure. And it's just been, I don't know, playing some of this volatility has been fantastic. And we've picked up some new favorites. Like I've been looking at Facebook a lot lately. We didn't ignore Microsoft today, don't get me wrong. It's right over here as one of my #1 stocks to always be watching. The problem with Microsoft is today, and again, look at this 280 level. How beautiful was that this morning? It's just, I have to pay attention. I wrote down 275 in case we crashed, but wow, man, that 280 level on Microsoft has just been so cash for us. We were really hitting the longs the last couple days into these areas, so we'll have to pay more attention. It's now $4 in the money. You guys know what we were doing, though. We were busy we took monster trades on Baba. Look at that out, by the way, on Alibaba, 80.30. It ripped all the way to 82.50. So we definitely smelt that problem there as it made some bases at 79, which we still had that, obviously. But now it's dead to the upside. I mean, we were never going long. So I just wish that we had looked at that before. We had some bases at 78 and 79 on Alibaba. But for Rivian, man, my next bid, honestly, is 35.20. I don't have anything until we retest some of these lows. So Rivian, it was nice knowing you, and it was a good party, but you didn't want to go up today, man. So when you did, we shorted you. I apologize for that, but you know what? We don't apologize for this. We just hope that some of this money doesn't eventually slip out of that wheelbarrow, because you know what? It's only 10:30. There's lots of time still in this market.
Oh, 100%, as this market actually stuck in a range. Now, let me just look at the futures chart. This is what the futures chart looks like here. Ignore the gap. Actually, no, let me put up the other chart. Let me pull up the E-signal chart because that includes the gap, which is important because futures is the 24-hour, almost 24-hour type of instrument. So here we are. This is the 5-minute chart, and this is what we've done, right? I had 90 marked off. Clearly, 90 got pushed a little bit, so we're going to move that down to 85, and that's what we've got here. Range action. What do we have? S&P up 0.72, but does this look like 0.72? It's all relative, right? Because we closed down here, we're trading here, so we're up 0.72, but when you look at the action, it's a 0.72 sideways 0.72. So not a whole lot going on there. So as S&P is going sideways, I don't pull back. I'm looking for long. I did pick up Baidu, and it looks like it's running straight back down to the downside. Damn. Okay, so we are long on Baidu, just in front of that 111.50. Well, I got 111.80, but in front of that 111.50, and see if we can't hold it through that 110. If we lose the 110, I'll just walk away. This could just be a false move to the upside. That also means that some of these names might be reversing course again. That could be a problem. Brendan?
Let's talk about Coupang, shall we? Coupang back to the downside. This was all-time lows here this morning. SoftBank said they are out now of Coupang. They had a huge position in CPNG, so it did tank down their halt initially, and then right back higher for CPNG, another one of those Chinese stocks, obviously. It's 10:30. Let's get a quick check on how things over in Europe are shaping up so far. Miss V is watching. What's going on over there? What's up?
Hey, Brandon, European market started this week in a positive territory. Volkswagen trading in Germany is up more than 5% after posting better than expected operating profit. Back to you.
Yeah, choppy day so far here as well. S&P 0.6, guys. That Coupang stake apparently for SoftBank was $1 billion worth of Coupang gone now.
Coupang. Oh man, never gonna forget. Yeah, they're have to couping with it and give some coupons, I guess, for that trade as well. But I still remember Coupang because that was a trade where the IPOs were so hot, and I put out a bid for that, and I got filled. It was only a couple hundred shares on Coupang, and then we had our Trader TV Live meeting there, and then I get a message from Greg. It's like, oh, Coupang opened. I'm like, okay, whatever, no big deal. I come back and I wound up losing like $700 or something. Like I was like, it's an IPO. It's just going to go up from here. And no, it absolutely crashed. So that was a very, very bad decision of mine. I should have came back in. And by the time I did, it was already down into the dumpster there. What's up? Yeah, Lucas Jackson. Yeah, I know, because it's on this side. You can't see. It's just a Submariner date adjust. So that's all that it is right there if you're looking. But see, if I had Arun's left side, see my left side you can't see. So that's that right there. So, showing that off a little bit. But the thing is that I'm going to go back to I just said it now because I went to go get the fruit salad and we have a new system here. As you know, it's Bluetooth. So you can't get anywhere in our building now unless you have Bluetooth with you. So I think the best move for me is to go back because I just went and got it and I didn't bring my phone. I mean, I don't travel around the office with my phone. Well, most of the time I do, but not all the time. So I'm going to get the Bluetooth, and that way I can just go doot doot like that and do it. But it's been a good luck watch. You've been wearing this had it for about a year now. Shout out to Kevin O'Leary for the watch enthusiasts out there as well. Although he's supposed to, I told him to send me one of those hugely expensive watches. Haven't heard back.
I mean, you got to be on his case then. He comes on the show every so often.
This is what I'm saying.
You just got to jump on it and be like, hey, Kevin, where's my watch?
Bro. Send me that 50 grand, whatever watch he has there. I don't know. I don't think he's going to do that, but we'll see. Anyways, that's that trade. Look, Rivian right now down to 35.60. What a monster short this has been here. But yeah, I just have to watch out for this Facebook as it's $1.60 in the money. It's come back. And again, we're holding 10% of it. Like I said, we did our best outs were right here, 190, 150. We should have obviously, looking back at this, gotten out at the top. But that's hindsight, right? And that's 2020. We're never going to get the tops or bottoms on any of these stocks. Sometimes we do when it's back into here. So if we can get this back in to this 189-ish, then we'll have a dance again. But I'm not too worried about Facebook. I'd rather hold this than get out. So that's what we're going to do. 10% left on Facebook. It's retesting the 50 period, which is kind of interesting. Excuse me, it's kind of interesting, but the problem is the market's breaking. So I might have missed it, but are you short the futures yet? Because it feels like we may be turning here.
Well, we might be turning, which is a good thing, because I'm looking for potential longs on a pullback if we can grab it. As I say that, though, coin is falling apart on me. Like, what is coin doing? This is it's been mistakes all around for me. We started with Roku, and now apparently coin is going to be a problem as well as coin falls apart. The only long that's actually falling apart right now. But I want to pull back so I can grab some futures longs with the setup. Now I know that I'm looking on the long side for the futures. I just don't want to price it here. It's too high. If I'm going to use 41.85, I'd rather price it towards the 10s so the risk isn't absolutely nuts. So on a pullback that decently sets up, we'll go for the long. But for the time being, we're just going to keep the two that we have, the three that we have, the two longs and the one short, and see if we can find some more. At the moment, though, there's not a whole lot that are, like, most of the moves that have been made, right? We saw some of these Chinese names were going to take off. Baidu came back in through that 112, so I stepped in at around 111.80, and now we're kind of bouncing back towards, so that's now somewhat flat. But some of the other names that should have gotten going already have decided that, no, they want to take a break and come to the downside again. So they are coming back in. If we're going to time that with the futures, that's perfectly fine. That just means that I've got to find some more names that I can actually put lower in for bids. So in the event the market comes back in a little bit more, I have bids waiting for some names that are already set up and ready to go. As I say that, though, there goes Baidu back above 112. This is what we want, right? We want to see an extension towards 118 or so. That's the target anyways for Baidu for the time being. That's up 40 cents. We'll let that be. Yeah, that's probably going to take some time. Given how long it took us just to find this stability and support, that long might take some time to get going.
All right, just an update here. We'll get unplugged again with EV. Rivian was just bouncing around 35.50 a couple times right there. So you could see, I just took another piece out. So we're only holding a third now of these reloads. So yeah, we were reloaded. Those were good ideas. But for right now, I don't know if Rivian retests these bottoms. The market just made a move down. I'm with Arun. I was trying to reload and it just didn't come in. Well, it did come into here, but I was waiting for 190. So Facebook did come into a reload spot down down here at 190.50. We were waiting for a little different. We could have just made $1 on that move, but again, I just thought that we could test VWAP here. But anyways, I'm happy. We're back at the highest spot we've been at all day here as the market continues to rip higher. Let's have a look at AGRI. We haven't looked at that since the halt. So, wow, okay, here's the halt right here, and that was 10 o'clock. I remember because Brendan did his thing there at the big screen, and I was like, uh-oh, AGRI halted, and it does make a move up to 470. Now we're bouncing around. They were in the news for acquiring another company today. So normally that's not good, but their float, and again, maybe I can remind myself of it right now. Besides asking Brendan every single question all of the time, let's just go over here, AGRI, and just find it out for ourselves. The short float right now is nothing, but where's the shares outstanding? This is what I'm looking for right here. 14 million, okay, shares outstanding. So I know there's news around this name. We know what they're talking about. Russia's trying to ban agriculture and whatnot. So that's obviously going to be a move to the downside here for for the upside for AGRI, as these prices very sticky to supply. So yeah, we'll have to go back over to Brendan.
It was DeRusse Plants that they picked up in a deal today. Not a huge one, only about 50 million, but Belgium-based DeRusse Plants being acquired by AgriForce. It's 12 million. That's what I have anyways for the free float guys for the AGRI.
Yeah, it said 12 was the share float to be shorted, and I guess there's 14 million out there from somewhere as well. So AGRI starting to make a move down. We did get Rivian a piece out right there, but we're going to hold that last piece for these very bottoms, man. I don't know. I'm still thinking the market pops here, but we are at a little difficult spot here for the NASDAQ right now, bouncing around VWAP and just kind of hovering in this range. We've already made the low look, and we've already made the high look. So, you know, dancing in the middle doesn't surprise me for 1040 in the morning here. Let's see if we can find a directional play right now. But we're just going to be happy holding on to what we have as Facebook. Again, guys, right back to day's high. Like, I normally would take this out, but I feel like the market is not near day high, obviously. So as this starts to continue its move to the upside, foolish for us not to think about holding this. You know, there's more upside here in Facebook. If the market takes off, then we're going to have a monster. It's already $3 in the money. Obviously, we wish we held everything, but Facebook never thought that we'd turn this around, man. Like an hour ago, this was the name that I was most upset with as we shorted, and then eventually we're like, no, we're going to flip long. So we flipped long at 191, got that out, then build the long back upside. Facebook, a nice stock here, as I think there's some nice upside potential here for FB.
Yeah, as the market rotates back around, it's like, yay, Baidu's up $1. But then I'm like, but no, I can't price anything else now. If this market had just come back a little bit more, that's what I need. I can stay in a loser for a little bit while I build other things, and that's what I'm looking for, is the ability to build other positions on the long side on a pullback. And this market having just moved towards 42.30. I was at like 42.28. I think it was just that. As it's moving towards that, it becomes a problem, right? So I just need somewhat of a pullback. A pullback helps my situation, anyways. Yeah, it means I'm sitting in some losers a little bit longer than would be ideal. But at the end of the day, if your read is there, it doesn't really matter how long you're sitting in a loser that's out of the money. The read is still solid, right? So you just want the market to pull back so I can price in more trades, and then we can get going, right? So for the time being, Baidu is messing around. Let it be. It's in the money. Great. Coin is trying to find some support. I'm not sure what's going on with Coin. It had decent action and it was ready to go, and then we just kind of fell off a little bit. Again, stop on this is not too far away, so we'll leave it be, let it figure itself out. I'm not going to rush to do anything with it. Maybe with the futures pop, if we're not going to go down, at least move fast and hard enough to get Coin going as well to the upside. For the time being, not a whole lot. Maybe a rotation in Netflix. Netflix is messing around as well, so I'm looking for some other index names that I can participate in. The other flip side of this move to the upside, let's just say we got to price in different or play with different reads as well, right? So if we can't get the long on a pullback, maybe we can fade a move into the 40s on the futures with the setup, because we still have that 42.65 as a potential resistance level above, right? So that's a secondary play that I can potentially make if we were to just take off to the upside. Brendan?
Hey guys, yeah, quick look at the S&P 500 here, broken down by all the individual groups. We are higher, 0.6 on the day, as Arun was saying there. But we mentioned the 10-year back to 2019 highs. So banks very strong right across the board. Every single one in this group in positive territory. There's Moderna in the healthcare group. There's Moderna up 20% now. Pfizer as well, 4.3% back to the upside. DXCM, there was a positive headline on that one, 5.25%. But healthcare stocks also lending to the strength so far that we're seeing. Travel names, on the other hand, as we said, some of them strong. The flights. Airlines is the word I'm looking for. Back in positive territory. The casinos, however, not. Wynn, LVS. I saw Caesars on here as well. There it is, 2.6 offsetting. But Wynn and LVS, big time moves back in negative territory for both of those. But Under Armour, RLUAAUA, depending on which one you want to look at, offsetting that, and then some. Transportation stocks, let's go. Here they are. AAL, UAL, and Alaska, all 3.5 to 4.5% back in positive territory. Great look for some of the industrial shares so far today. That's the energy group. Oil getting killed so far. Para, CHTR, and IPG in the communications group offsetting Take Two. Take Two very negative. The rest positive though. So 0.6 right now for the overall market, guys. Hey, we're positive.
There's a question there, that I actually wanted to answer from Mark. He said that it's a very good question, too. For anyone wondering what the components and futures and spiders and what the relationships are, Mark's wondering if Apple's 10% of the index, why SPY up 77 cents? Well, it's 10% of the NASDAQ, not of the S&P. In the NASDAQ, it's actually more. It's about 12.39%. But it's not the only one at that weight. So you have Apple down 1%.
Apple is 7 of the SPY.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to go through the NASDAQ real quick because it's going to be the same type of relationship in the S&P as well. Apple is 12% of the NASDAQ, but at the same time, then you have Microsoft up 1.5% on the day, which is 10% of the NASDAQ. You have Amazon right below that, and then you have Google, Tesla. Some of these names are up big, right? So just because Apple's one big portion doesn't mean that it alone can move the market if the other names that are on the other side are going to oppose it, right? So right now what you have is Facebook strength, Microsoft strength, which is enough to keep the market up, right? So NASDAQ is up 0.24. It'd probably be up a lot more if Apple were to be positive as well. As I say this, let's just take a quick look at Baidu. Baidu had decided to just hit the launch button and take off, right? We were kind of messing around a little bit. Now it's like, you know what? We're going to go up now. Target was 118. I was like, this might take all day. Now it's up $4.50, and it just took off, right? It wasn't even... I want to say it's not even 5 minutes since it just took off. And this is going to be a quick move towards 118. Remember, target's between 118 to 120. So Baidu pressing the launch button and just taking off to the upside. We're going to get a return on this one for sure at this point. So here we are. As the market is now working its way towards that 42.30, we're getting some launch action in some names that have been depressed for a little bit. You were in Baba, and you've been working with Baba. Is Baba also doing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of. I smelt that one out just like you there. Actually, it came right back down. So we got out of Baba. Yeah, good question there. We got out of Baba there at 80 flat or 80.20 when we took that out. It ripped all the way to 82.50, but no, it's not doing the same thing as what you just mentioned there. It's actually going the other way. But Brendan had information there on Alibaba, so it's on Baidu, so it's moving its own little style there. But what we have right now is Rivian, and of course that made another move up. We're coming back in at 70 cents in the money. Facebook. We're waiting for a reload back down here. And you guys got me, man. I think I'm just going to get out here 190.20 if it comes back up. Too many triple tops here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Tons of tops, man. There we go. A like for me. Thank you, Mishmish there. But hit a like for the show, not for me. Mishmish asked here, and I think this is important, and this is something that I'm trying to tell Trader Pratt as well, and for all of you. So you long term, you're only 31 years old. Perfect, man. So I'm a year younger than you. No, but thanks for replying last time. Hey, no problem. So he's 31. Which one would you pick between Apple and Microsoft? Maybe both. So if you had 2K, how much would you put into the market right now? So I said put in 500 each, man. Like right now, I like Apple and I like Microsoft. So I figure like both of those names are names. I'd add Google to that spot as well. Obviously, you have the turn coming for Google. What I mean by that, of course, is the split. You have NVIDIA, you have AMD. But if you're that young, 31, and you only only have $2,000 to put in, not that that's not a small amount of money, but you could also look at what Arun was talking about and just flip over to the NASDAQ and just invest a little bit in the triple Qs as well. If you're going to hold, honestly, Microsoft and Apple, I think the better play might be for right now, Mishmish, to put in $500, just a quarter of your money into the Qs right now. You're at a decent level for the NASDAQ, being how far it's down, and it looks like right now you can't get a better opportunity to get a little bit of money in right now. I'm probably going to get eaten alive on the chat saying, oh, there's so much more lower to go. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much lower there is to go, but if I had a little bit of spare cash, which I don't because it's all invested, that's not completely the truth, but it's close enough. I would think about putting some money to work now in the Qs for sure. So I take that back. I think that I like the NASDAQ 100 better for you right now than putting half. But if you've already done it, then great. I like Apple at these levels as well. So, I mean, if the NASDAQ fails, so will Apple. So it's kind of like two in the same there. But I would definitely put some money into Qs. And then honestly, the other ETF that I like is SMH. But they're kind of one and the same. If the SMH collapses, probably the Qs will. And then to answer your question as well, I don't know whose it was, but about why is the NASDAQ down and Apple's up and so on and so forth. I mean, there's other names. How about ARK, right? I mean, there's names that are getting absolutely pumped. You talked about Coinbase, some of those new tech names, now, Square, PayPal, names that ARK is in, C3AI is probably getting smashed today, Palantir, Smash City. I'll have to look. I'm just saying what these names are. Roku, another name that's, some of these funds are invested in, and they're all part of the NASDAQ, right? So that's what you got to watch out for. It's not just the big names that will flow. It's a lot of these other names as well. So NASDAQ, yeah, definitely making some moves to the downside here today. And, the big boys are carrying it. Imagine if they weren't.
You're talking about making moves. Baidu has decided that it wants to cancel the launch button. It's a no-go on the rocket launch at this point because Baidu has now come back all the way back in towards 113. I was sitting at 116 and change and just completely, the bids just dropped off. Now it's starting to make another move back up. But as you can see, a quick fallback from that 116 and change. Again, I'm moving the stop on this. I'm going to make money on this regardless by the time I stop out. But at the same time, if we fail this, I'm done. Like I'm walking away with, even if it's 10 cents, I'm walking away with 10 cents in the money at this point. But if we can't get going, that's going to be the problem. This market clearly stuck, right? We talked about this range that it's in. That's not the chart that I want to use. This is the chart that I want to use on the market. This is the range we're in. This is the market we're dealing with, and we're not getting that pullback that I wanted. So what do? Nothing. We do absolutely nothing, but we can take a quick look at crude because crude's moving. It's at 8.5% to the downside now and just broke 100. And we were looking at crude on the bounce back up. We had that 108, right? I was looking for a potential fade against that 10, pretty much from 105, 108. I wanted to set up, but I'm like, I'm not going to force my hand. I'm not going to also put too much effort into looking at this just because I had other things going on, right? Crude's not my main way of playing this market. Typically, it's equity futures or on the show, I'll do some stocks. But crude, damn, through that 105 and then full rotation.
9%?
Down, yeah, it's down through 100 now. And this is the last little bit of support here. When we go back, and this is a consolidated chart, by the way. So this is the not the June contract. This is the April contract, but this builds on top of other contract futures as well. We've got some support. Big round number at 100, and we've got some support here around this going back to February the 24th. So there's going to be some interest around 199 or so. So definitely keep an eye on these price points. If you're trading oil names, if you're trading oil futures, if you're trading crude futures, definitely an area to watch. But damn, that trade around 105 into 108 could have been something. Again, when you take on a lot of names, sometimes you got to sacrifice some reads that you're not familiar or you don't do too often. Specifically for me, crude is one of those things. If I have nothing going on, I'll take a look at crude. But if I've got a lot of names, then I think you've got to pass up some names, right? So let's take a quick look. For anyone wondering what crude contracts look like, because you're essentially trading with your chart at this point, right? Because the level 2 means nothing. This is what the level 2 looks like. This is ones and twos and maybe some 10s, 5 cents down. That's about it. We're not getting a whole lot of action in terms of volume, in terms of volume on the bid, but you'll get volume done through the board, right? So crude size, not a whole lot. But definitely volatile. That would explain why it can move 8.5% and not even take a break. So as we say that, Baidu's coming back in. Coin doesn't want to bounce. Futures are going sideways. that also means I'm not doing a whole lot at this point either.
I did want to mention too, shout out to Tyrone there, did some good words. And I just think that no matter what advice I give, anybody gives on the chat, Arun, Neil, myself, Brendan, you know, I think dollar cost averaging, like you mentioned there, is a great method if you're going to invest, is to get in. And I think the same thing for Bitcoin and all of this stuff. No, I don't think anybody's going to be able to call a bottom or a top in really in any name except for marijuana names. I would definitely never invest in those as I'm already invested. I mean, again, Tilray, I was just looking at some of these, like Aurora Cannabis just made brand new 52-week lows. I don't know where the 52-week low is here on Tilray, but look at this name down another 3%, just keeps on getting cracked. The reason I bring this up is we're right here. Right back down to $5. Look out below once this breaks, man. You're at 5 flat for Tilray. If you guys are looking for a short, this might be the one, man. All the way back down into 5, or, and again, I'll just talk about, you know, trading and strategies, and like, you can go long. There'll be people here at Day Trade the World that will just put like 20,000 shares here. I was gonna say 200,000, depending on your account, but putting big time shares here at 04 and then really just holding it against this 5. And if 5 breaks, then that's why sometimes you see, like, you know, either a capitulation level where 5 breaks and it just tanks all the way down because there are people holding big shares in front of it and they can't get out. They can't get 99s, 98s, 97s, 96s, and it just flows all the way to the downside. But Tilray right now, wow, just keeps on getting cracked lower, lower, lower. And that SoFi, I mean, it's trying to bounce. I think last time I looked, it was bouncing off 8. Yeah, but, and again, another bottom here for SoFi. You could do the same kind of levels right now on SoFi where you're thinking, hey, maybe 8 holds. And if you did that, you're up 10 cents now. I mean, you wouldn't have got 8 flat. Let's just say you got 803, 804, something like that. Nothing wrong. And don't feel bad about getting out of some of these trades, man. Who knows where we're going? Look at the NASDAQ. You know what? Scratch this. Cancel Facebook. Cancel Facebook. I think Facebook's going to go through the roof here. So we'll hold on to Facebook. And good on us for Rivian, man. Look at these outs. We're now holding a small piece left. If it takes out 36.50, then we get out. We're not going to average into Rivian. The market's going ham right now, trying to go back up 2 days high, you know, sans pre-market. We'll see if we take out this 13,400, giving us a new high. But without any further ado, it's Money Talks. Let's see how that cat is doing, Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, volatility across the board in currency markets again today, all because of the dollar index. Back to the downside again for the $0.3. It was actually positive at one point today, but rejecting some of those levels we got to last week. Remember, the Fed on Wednesday is going to make a big deal here as far as currencies are concerned. The euro really strong today as well, back to 109 and change, 0.5% higher. There's the Canadian dollar back in the red. It was up about 0.25% early on this morning, has since reversed. So 78.4 there for the Canadian dollar. British pound, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, doing what they normally do. Japanese yen, there was a little bit of positive data overnight I saw as well over in Japan. So it was a little bit positive because of that. But overall volatility, as we say, coming off a bit again today, the VIX to the downside. Australian dollar is down 0.5% along with the New Zealand dollar, but everything else in here nicely higher, including the Russian ruble there. 3 days in a row back to the upside for the ruble. Guys, back over to you.
Yep. Market takes off to the upside, so there goes Baidu. It's doing its own thing, but at the same time, this helps, right? Now Baidu's back towards that 150. It's at 114 and change, back towards that 115. Coin is starting to turn back around from that 158 level, and future is now sitting at 35. So I'm kind of stuck here a little bit because future is what I wanted to do. I can't do anymore, which was pull a gold long on a pullback, and I wasn't going to pay up in the 20s because then I'm kind of going long mid-range, right? So I wasn't going to go long mid-range because the bottom's here, the top's there, and I'm not going long here to see what we got near the top. So I wanted to go maybe price it in somewhere around here towards the bottom. Let me move that chart up so you guys can see it. I wanted to price it somewhere around here through the 10s. Can't get that anymore, so what do we do now at this point? Ride the longs that we have that we're priced into, look for a potential fade if there's a setup. Respect the trend to the upside at the moment. Good rotation through that 90, good stability. Now we just need to find a way to get long. We can't get the long down here, so we're gonna have to look for the opposite side, but while respecting the trend that is to the upside. So for now, it's a waiting game. A lot of times it is a waiting game, especially more when these conditions need to be done precise. They need to be precise. I see in the chat a lot of you guys are talking about MULN, Mullen. I'm not sure what you guys are looking at. I'm looking at the chart going, I guess a bounce off of 165. I'm more interested in the 2. And the reason I say the 2 is because if I were to pull up, let's pull up a daily chart on this thing here. If we pull up the daily chart on 2, we've been here before, right? On the 28th. So if we can get decent action above 2, then the long makes sense. But at this point, why not look for a fade on a pop if you get the setup? Because right now, there's not enough stability for a long. You've got resistance above 2, and we're not willing to stay above it. So obviously, going for the short is not, at these prices, is not going to work. But if we got closer to 2 and started to fade, then maybe a rotational short could be in play, right? I wouldn't feel comfortable going for the long, but at the same time, I wouldn't be okay for a short right here either. So Mullen is, as much as everyone's trading, and I'm not sure what you guys are looking to do on this, but at the same time, for me, I think 2 is going to have to be that marker where we either get above it to go for the long or we get near it to go for the short. Up until that point, I'm just going to ride the 2 out. Baidu up $2.69, coin down 79 cents, and WFC down 47 cents. Those are my 3 positions as we're nearing the end of our show. As Prad takes over, I'm very curious to see what Prad's been trading because he's been screaming a little bit there as some excitement. So we'll see what Prad's been in and trading and making money on. You better have.
I see what he's in. I see what he's in.
You're not trading anything? Oh, he's trying to be coy about it.
Yeah,
so
Prad,
he's definitely got some good
down.
things for you guys on his show.
Yeah, he does. He has lots of good things. But yeah, we'll see what Prad's doing. I'll give you a teaser. One of them is PayPal.
Oh.
So we'll see when Prad comes through right there. What's up, Prad? Okay, but yeah, Mullen a little boring. So I agree with you on that one. We hit that early, man. We had to Mullen. Mullen was a big trade for me. We go, mamma mia, was Mullen a pretty good trade for us early. We did hold 10% and got out, or I think it was 5% actually, because we got some out there and then one part out there, but not enough to worry us at all. Mullen. Rivian is at a possible reload spot, so you could take that one. Alibaba, just check back in on that, 89. Here as we're getting ready to go, I want to thank John. Thank you so much for your kind words. You said we had a great morning, Arun. You, myself, Brendan, and Ms. V, thank you so much as well. No, Arun cannot stay on for Prad's show, but maybe he'll swing by and take the mic over a little bit, but that's up to the show. We'll see what happens right there. And we've said it for a while, man. DraftKings, I've said, has been dead for a very, very long time in that March Madness. I don't think would save this name. You got a huge bump. I'm not back into DraftKings. I haven't been since $62, which is embarrassing. That we're able. It's good that we're able to get out up there at 62, but DraftKings just continues, man, to just, here it is up here. Like, no love, man. I mean, and Pratt will talk about this name because it's one of the movers, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight red days for DKNG. So, wow, a big move to the downside. It did respect the 50-period rate there, and if that wasn't a sign to get out, then whatever. Nice little downside move, and I just feel like SoFi down, DraftKings down. A lot of these bigger names, man. Palantir's down 3% today as well, back to $11. You could check out PLTR down here near 11. So yeah, things continue to make moves to the downside, and it's not nice. But Arun, and I don't know what you feel about this, because normally you have my salad when I'm not here, but it's Jamaican patties with Caribbean rice and beans. So
that is the most unappealing lunch we can have. There's no effort whatsoever at this point.
All right, no effort.
There's no effort to make Jamaican patties. Take them from the freezer, put them in the oven.
Let's just see. I think they'll probably be frozen, so I think you'll probably be right there. But hey, we keep the salads real.
But to be fair, okay, as much as we're complaining, this is like a first world problem. We're getting catered lunches.
Right. I was going to say, let's not be too disappointed there. I'm missing. Oh yeah, we're missing oxtails. Like when I get, again, we're blessed here in Toronto, to be honest with you, about all the multicultural, that we have here, multiculturalism, and we're spoiled with food. And I mean, that's the best part. There's so many amazing Caribbean joints around here. Actually, the wife and I were talking the other day that there's this place up where we live called Roti Time. And oh, damn, that place can throw down. So shout out to Roti Time there. Fantastic. You get whatever you get. Yep. You don't get upset because it's just an amazing
in those kind of places. You take what you get and you walk away.
Yeah,
right?
that's like, it's like, here, give me that. Give me that goat. Grab that chicken. I'll grab whatever you guys got. I'm willing to throw that down. And someone else who's always throwing down, and hopefully not on a bus again, it's Trader Prad and Miss V. Let's go live to them. We'll see you again at 2 p.m. Oh, we got to go to Val first. What's up, Val?
Hey, what's up, Sean? How's it going, guys? Well, just real quick, thank you so much for starting this trading week with us. Please, as Sean said, join Prad and me to continue trading this day. And happy National Potato Chip Day, everyone.
Potato chips, love it.
Yeah, we just started talking about real good food, and then we have to go to potato chip
Patties
day.
and potato chips.
I'm gonna throw down with somebody that's talking about Olive Garden, because as an Italian, I don't love Olive Garden. That is the one name we don't even have anymore in Canada. I do not think.
No,
Olive Garden, or
so.
see you later on that one. But potato chips. All right, let's just do this because we always do it. Do you have a favorite flavor?
Ketchup. For anyone who hasn't tasted ketchup, come to Canada, try ketchup.
Unbelievable.
Because ketchup is the only way to go in terms of potato
Little
chips.
messy.
I mean, potato chips are messy, but ketchup is all the way. You got to go with that all the way.
I'm down with the sea salt. I like the crispier ones. Those chips, like. Not just crispers.
Miss Vicky's?
Kettle chips.
Yeah.
Brennan's always got the name. Brennan, before we go, I mean, I know we're running late. Anything on the favorite chip front?
I also go ketchup or all dressed as well, guys.
Ooh, I like the all dress. Yeah, I go with the barbecue as well, but the kids don't like that. They love. Oh, you know what's a little undercover one? I like dill pickle.
Spicy dill pickle from Miss Vicky's is also
There we go.
awesome.
I'm going to
There
hit
you go.
that
That's
up.
a
I
pretty
have
good
not
one,
hit
too.
that. I like the sweet chili heat from Miss Vicky's as well. But hey, look, we can go back and forth forever, but let's not do that because we want to take a break and throw it to a much better show. It's Trader Pratt and Miss V on your Midday Movers. Let's go.
Welcome, welcome. It is the brand new week. Time to get excited. Time to have some fun for the rest of the 4 more days after this day, obviously included. How's everyone else? Hopefully you guys have a great week. I know I just saw some pictures that I want to talk about, including some very special little...
You're talking about chips.
No, about your dog.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got my dog. Have you seen pictures?
I just saw it. I was
So
going through the